right, what is going on, everyone? How's it going? What's crack-a-lacking? Leave the music on for a minute. I'm digging the vibe. All right, just moving some things around. We'll be good to go in just a second. Sometimes when I have to adjust a little bit of screens. Chuck E. Cheese ASIM game. God, I hope so. Good evening. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Jack. Good afternoon, Vegeta. Good afternoon, Crash. I think that's it right now. We're a little bit early. The dev stream doesn't start till 4 p.m. But I figured I would just get on a little bit early and, just chill a little bit, let it build up. Figure out what we're going to do. I knew there was, we needed some place to go and hang out, watch it, because I was going to watch it anyway. I want to see what they're up to. I think a lot of us are interested, especially after the big update that we got with the Muerto Times, that there's 250 things in works right now. Are they actually fixing the game again? I want a prestige system. Well, it looks like the game is definitely getting a lot of fixes. That Muerto Times had a lot to say. If we saw that, I didn't do a video on it. What time is it in your time zone? I'm on Eastern time, Jack. I'm on US Eastern Standard Time. So it is 3:12 p.m. where I live. I think the game's going to get a lot of boost. Can someone spare me 10 cents? 10 cents. I love the game, but they disappeared randomly. I don't know if they disappeared as much as they haven't done a dev stream since launch. That's why I was kind of very intrigued to see where they go. I like the Marvels. Was it good, Renee? That's good to hear. I mean, like I said last night, I don't want the movie to suck. I don't think it's going to do very well at the box office, but I'd rather people enjoy the film. Definitely digging the vibe. All right, I have that ready to go. I'll probably switch over once we have a little more of an opportunity to see what they're up to. But right now we're just kind of chilling. Maybe I'll play a match or two of TCM. I don't know. Right now I just was kind of letting people go, oh yeah, Old Heads Live, because I'm sure notifications for the stuff like this really don't go out well because I haven't played TCM a lot live lately, and of course YouTube's gonna be like, don't send out noties. But for those of you who have been playing TCM a lot more than I haven't played since the double XP weekend ended. I played a little bit on my Xbox account, a little bit on my PC account. One mid credit, one end credit. Okay. Anything worthwhile or just whatever? Renee. Should I play a little TCM while we wait? We got about 45 minutes. I probably could sneak a couple of matches in while we wait for a gun to get together. Because last time they were supposed to go live, they were about 15 minutes late to the only dev stream they've done. It was a good dev stream. Matt and Wes had a lot to say, but it was kind of weird. Bro, what the fuck? They really changed the thing where it shows who is in the party. It's nice to know who is in a Swift, unlike DVD. See, I disagree with that. I think that is not something that survivors or killers should know. I feel like showing who is in a Swift or a kill with friends makes low people want the DC. You think they announced the release date for the DLC? I think that's a high possibility. It's one of the reasons I'm live. I feel like they'll probably, if they were smart, they would close out with a trailer for it and then have a date on the end of the trailer, whether it's this Tuesday, whether it's the following Tuesday. I feel like one of the biggest mistakes TCM makes is a lot of coming soon, stay tuned. Just give some fucking dates and let people prepare. South Myers, one of the biggest problems this game has, and it's been one of the things that has made me play it less and less, is all the lobby issues. People DC for a multitude of reasons, whether they're stuck playing Leatherface, whether they look at the level and see a 99, whether they find out someone's in a group of friends. Like, people just DC from this game like I've never seen a game, and it's made it almost unbearable for me. Like, the lobby problems is one of the reasons I stopped playing TCM a lot. Well, here's the thing. Like, theoretically, anyone could be on comms, even if they're not on a Swift. So, like, it's kind of moot in that game. I don't want that added to DBD at all. I stand firmly in I don't care if anyone's Swifting or not. Never have. When I play Killer, and I play Killer a lot, I don't give a flying fuck if they're in a group of friends or not. Yeah, this game has internal comms, so you can turn your comms on if you want, whether you're grouped together as friends or not. Like, for example, I'll never show as comms because I run everything through my Discord. Like, everyone who's usually in a chat with me, no matter what game I'm playing, usually are running through our Discord. So for me, like, that's usually where we all group up. DBD needs proximity chat. That I would be okay with. I feel like that would be a good addition to DBD. Okay, what's a good reason to know if someone's in a Swift? Like, I'm curious. Like, what would be the reasoning behind that? I have a video about a lobby I want to show you. Should I post in the chat or the Discord? Post into the Discord, Jack. If you try to post it in chat, Nightbot might auto swat it. Yeah, like, I'm all for proximity chat. Like, I think proximity chat's fine. Like, I don't think there's any problem with survivors communicating. Like, hey, I'm over here. And Dead by Daylight keeps giving more and more information anyway. We know who's working a gen. We know who's working a totem. We know who's healing. We know who's being chased by the killer. Like, it doesn't really, like, there's not a whole lot left other than exactly where I'm at on the map if you're not playing with, you know, with friends. Like, DBD has given away so much news every lobby. I will have to watch it. Oh, Salmonation's doing Texas videos now? Interesting. I will definitely have to check that. I know he left Dead by Daylight. Maybe a ping system? Maybe. I mean, like, we do get, like, a ton of information in Dead by Daylight. Now, I think the maps in Texas tend to be a little bit bigger, especially Slaughterhouse, but there's so many easy ways to get out. If you're a survivor, it's kind of moot anyway. Like, I feel like that's one of those maps that is just so survivor friendly or victim friendly, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's all the same thing. I mean, I don't... I think proximity chat's fine. Ping system. What's going on, Marcos? How are you doing, buddy? Like, all that stuff to me is like, it's fine for teams to have information from each other. Like, one of the things I've had this argument probably now for the 6 years I've played Dead by Daylight, is killers getting upset about Swifts. Like, I never understood it. Like, I don't get it. Like, yes, they're communicating, but who are you going to communicate with? You're one killer. Like, you're a Swift of your own, baby. There's no one to talk to. So, like, I don't understand why so many people get upset about it, but, like, you do see some really, like, DBD's a weird game. Like the survivor versus killer mentality has just always been bad. It's, I don't know if it's as bad in Texas, like victim versus family, but like in DBD, like it's always an us versus them mentality. And it's kind of weird because like I don't understand the purpose. Like, it's a video game. Like, at the end of the day, it's a game. Sure, we all love winning, but at the end of the day, it's a game. Like, if people want to play with their friends, that's kind of the fucking point. Like, so many people get bent out of shape. Oh, toxic Swift, toxic this, toxic killer. Like, it's kind of what happens. You're here now. Thanks for dropping in, Yokai. Oh, we're fine. I'm going to do some live coverage of the dev stream. Should be starting in about 40 minutes. I don't think there's anything up on their Twitch yet. I have it in the background. It's still showing offline. So I'm assuming we'll probably see something 3:55-ish Eastern. And then Pixel's cat keeps biting my shoe. Hey, I'm not taking it off your hands, Marcos. I'm allergic. What's going on, Hotshot? I love facing Swiss because it's very interesting. I mean, that's definitely a personality. That's a perspective as well. Like, I personally just don't care either way. Like, I think a lot of people make a big deal about it. But, like, I get, like, if you're starting out and you're playing Texas Chainsaw and you're a level 15 or below, and you see a group of 99, Swift survivors or 99 family members, like, I get why you're gonna dip. They don't annoy me at all. You enjoy it. That's exactly. I don't care either way. Yeah, like, play with your friends. Like, that's the entire purpose of team video games. Like, Shirtless Cook win. Oh man, Shirtless Cook needs to take a back seat to Chili Cook-Off Cook. Like, that would be the thing that would make me, like, dive into this game. If I could get a Chili Cook-Off shirt or a Chili Cook-Off outfit for Cook. Oh my. It'd be on like Donkey Kong. Like, that's the skin that needs to be in this game. Like, that's the premium content I want. Nika Terra Leatherface. Puh. Chili Cook-Off Cook. That right there would be S tier content. With a spatula. I could get behind it. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Groovy. Spatula City with Cook. Yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting dev stream. I hope we get some really definitive stuff. I hope they don't just pretty much answer questions they're already answering. Like, for me, this dev stream can go one of two ways. They pay attention to nothing but obvious shit and kind of leave everything at stay tuned, which for me would be an absolute embarrassment of a dev stream. Or they really start to dive into some stuff, give us some real framework of what to expect and when to expect it, and let us know when the DLC coming back, and that is a win. So, like, I'm very interested to see which way they're going to go, because honestly, I don't have any idea. I don't even know if they're that high on Steam. When I looked the other day, it was like 1,100. Stay tuned. DLC coming. Cook needs a banana hammock, not a banana weapon. Like, Cook just out there in his thong, running around, taking care of business. Bamf. I hate soon trademark. I hate stay tuned. Like, I hate all that stuff. It just drives me up a fucking wall. I'm still hoping that this game bounces back and expands into other films. I do too. Like, I feel if they don't at least get to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which in my opinion is by far the most fun and most entertaining of all the TCM game movies, this game is going to always be stuck in second gear. Now here's the problem. They seem to take themselves far more seriously than any ASIM I've ever seen. So I mean, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is the exact opposite. Like, it's actually fun TCM. Like, you got Chop Top, you got Sheriff, you got Cook being crazy. Like, it's a lot of fun. Like, the movie is so much more fun than the original. But it's a very different thematic version of the TCM universe, because TCM 2 is bananas, and bananas pretty much in the right way. Like, I think most people would say TCM 2 is the best of the movies. But this game seems like it really wants to take itself very seriously. I think another thing they have to talk about is the fact that they're going to be bringing out single survivors and single killers as $10 DLC. What does that include? Like, if they say that having their own star sign power quantifies a $10 price point, that's bullshit. First, we need Chop Top. Then we need the House of 1,000 Corpses crossover so we can play as Otis and Chop Top. And voiced by Mosley, of course. Funny thing, they say Sissy is a new character, yet she appears in 3D. Doesn't she just have a gravestone in 3D, or is she actually in it? Like, is she actually in the movie? Here, I need to look that up. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. Like, I don't remember her in 3D. I'm just looking at the cast now. I don't see her listed as a character at all. Loretta Sissy. Well, that's a good question, Dark Eye. We're going to find out. So this is their first dev stream since a week before the game was going to come out. And apparently it's supposed to be answering all of our burning questions. So the tombstone says Loretta Sissy Sawyer. Oh, yeah, middle name Sissy. I mean, like, they're original characters in the sense that, like, they were originally created by the creator for Texas Chainsaw, but were never used as characters. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe is so spread all over the place that, like... And another thing is they're trying to say that the Sawyers are not the Slaughters and the Slaughters are not the Sawyers, and it's just weird how they handle the whole thing. So I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, the fact that we don't have like cosmetics really for the family side is just weird. It's going well, Panzer. How are you doing? Oh, I should probably check to make sure that my Modern Warfare 3 is ready to go for tomorrow. Milkman Bubba. I mean, I would love to see Bubba in a Milkman outfit. That'd be fun. So here's my problem, and this has always been my problem with Texas Chainsaw. When it comes to Texas Chainsaw, the lore is so muddy and makes so little sense that I have a hard time like really wrapping my head around it, because everything contradicts everything. Even Diablo has seasonal content. How are you doing, Peter? But does TCM have a psycho killer doll? They do not. No, they do not. Oh, apparently my Omni-Man update is running. Omni-Man. No, Chucky was a lot of fun to play last night. It's just the wait times on the PTB are always just so fucking bad. You've been here from the beginning? Let's go. You were so quiet. I didn't know, Peter. I didn't know. You're lurking in the shadows. And we will still be doing the Overwatch stream tonight. The plan is this. We're going to cover the TCM tech dev stream until it ends. We'll do like an hour and 15-minute break, and then we'll come back and do the night stream tonight. And then tomorrow, Ashley J. Williams, the man from Call of Duty, goes into zombies. Oh, happy birthday, baby Odin. Yep, Ashley J. Williams goes to Modern Warfare 3. which is kind of exciting. Want to know why Old Head is good at gaming? He drinks Listen, if I could get a vitamin water endorsement, I would be all for it. I love vitamin water. I've been drinking this shit ever since it came out. Because the lore makes no sense, Groovy. It's not like Evil Dead where you can tie it all together. Like, every single movie is either a Sawyer or Slaughter. They can contradict each other. They reboot things. Like, it's just an absolute nightmare to figure out. Are you excited? Are you saying exciting about Ash? I'm like, that's kind of dumb. It doesn't fit the genre. What do you mean? What do you mean? Ashley J. Williams fighting zombies totally fits the genre. You saw some zombie footage yesterday. It looks interesting. It does. I was watching a little bit of stream today from Bob, who has early access. I'm very excited. Oh, dude, TCM reboots every third movie. And it's now just a muddy mess of like a franchise. Yeah, Call of Duty. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 launches tonight at midnight, and the new zombies, you can use all your Warzone characters. So in my case, I will be bringing Ashley J. Williams to new Modern Warfare 3 zombies. No round-based zombies, no thank you. It's like DMZ zombies is what it is. It actually looks really good. Evac and everything. It's DMZ, but with zombies. I'm excited for it. It definitely looks better than the last zombies I played, which was Vanguard. For those of you who were dumb enough to buy that game. Yeah, so Ashley J. Williams, the man from Call of Duty. No. Call of Duty. Call of Duty Zombies. He is part of the Call of Duty universe, much like he is in Fortnite now. He doesn't have his own game anymore. You know, Evil Dead couldn't make it past 11 fucking months, but he can be in Call of Duty and Fortnite. Oh, Vanguard's fucking awful. It is a terrible game that I regret getting. Like, it was the worst spend of $60 ever in history. Do you think they'll share a roadmap potentially? They should. Like, this is their opportunity to be transparent. And like, I know there's a lot of dick riders out there that are like, they're so crystal clear with what they're doing, but they're not. They're very stay tuned and very, here's some hints on the Muerto Times, but that's it. There's still Evil Dead Regeneration. There is, and Fistful of Boomsticks. Oh, dude, Marcos, I remember those days. Like, what are you doing? It's 2 a.m. One more round. Just one more round. We'll get the Easter egg. One more round. Oh, the maps on Vanguard are just terrible. Yes, everyone... Battlefield was pretty bad recently. Battlefield's been on a terrible streak, but like Call of Duty Vanguard was one of the worst games I've ever played. Yes, they were like, yeah, that's on us. My bad. Modern Warfare 3 is basically like straight up member berries. Like, do you remember these amazing maps from your youth? I do. Would you like to play them in 4K? I would. Would you like to play them with Ashley J. Williams? I want to do that more. And that's what happened. That's Modern Warfare 3. The story shit, I ran through it in like 3.5 hours. But like, no one cares about Call of Duty campaigns. Like, let's be honest. Like, no one has ever said to me, you know, old head, you know what I bought that Call of Duty for? I bought it for the campaign, and it was mwah, chef kiss. Just one more round, 20 rounds later. Yeah, I've been there. I hear someone say that we should let devs cook, not say nonsense, and be patient. Dude, listen, I love people who want to be really positive about games. I'm all for it. But like, you know how I roll. Like, I'm never going to be like just completely oblivious to faults. I'm never going to be completely oblivious to problems. I'm never going to just blow sunshine up a developer's ass. I'm going to say how it is. And there's stuff that's good with Texas, and there's stuff that really needs fixed. And there's stuff they really need to do better. And there's stuff that they could just minorly tweak. And that's reality. Even the old CODs, like, other than Ghosts, like, the campaigns were all always kind of mid. One more round, 2 hours late. Oh shit, I gotta go to. Yep. Marcos, for me it was I gotta go to work, but yes, I totally, or go to grad school. But like, I totally get it. Like, yep. I understand devs having something in the works, but a little sneak peek between. Like, here's the thing. There's no way at this point they don't know when Black Nancy, when the new map, when Danny are coming out. Like, you guys just need to just buck up and give a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of hope. I don't know what campaigns you were playing because they were all right, pump the brakes. Amazing Call of Duty campaigns. Like, maybe the old ones, but they haven't had amazing campaigns in like 10 years. I don't think since like PS, like, I think Ghost came out on PS4 as a launch title. And I think like that was the last good campaign. But that doesn't stop me from enjoying aspects of Call of Duty. I mainly played Back 4 Blood during the crazy stuff, but kept the community up to date and stuff. I thought Back 4 Blood was fun. I played it at launch. It was on Game Pass. I enjoyed it. I think if they don't add Chop Top to the next 2 months, the game isn't going to look good. I agree with you. How you doing, Sawyer? I haven't played COD games since the World at War. That's been a minute, Christopher. That has been a minute. Let me make sure nothing's going on. They're still radio silent. But like, it's okay that like they're doing stuff like, but like, in my opinion, the little story, the little 18-second teaser is not enough with the state the game's in. The card system ruined Back 4 Blood. I agree with you on that. Cold War's campaign was okay, but before that, would say Infinite War had good camp, but that was Black Ops 2 had a great comp. Yeah, I agree with you. Black Ops 2 was great. Was it? But like, let's be honest. At no point did I care about my little bit under 4-hour campaign. I just wanted the operators. It's the only reason I played it. Like, there's times where I won't even play a COD campaign. Ghost was your last COD. That's a while, Yokai. But yeah, like, I'm excited to do zombies. I mean, to each their own, Caden. So no dev stream for DVD? There isn't a dev stream for DVD. What are you talking about? There's no dev stream today, Sonata. This is the TCM is the dev stream today. You're right. The TCM devs need to get us hope today. DVD is reclaiming their player base with Stranger Things and Chucky, and I'm one of them. I haven't played TCM since Hawkins came back. They're just waiting so long to release a teaser. Fortnite or COD? I mean, Ashley J. Williams is in both, Carson. To release the teaser. Yeah, they have to come through today and be like, listen, we hear you. And even if they say, hey, it's not coming out till December 12th. Okay, at least we know it's a month away. And everyone can kind of be like, all right, we're treading water until the new DLC hits. The core game has always needed more, Caden. It's always needed more. It's the same freaking game since, well, 2015. Yeah, today's the TCM dev stream. It's going to start in a few minutes. We're just chilling right now, just hanging out. So how you doing, Sage? Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is less zombies and more DMZ, which doesn't bother me at all because I know they're releasing traditional round-based down the line. Yeah, it's going to be an add-on. I think they said, like, spring. Danny and Nancy need to come out very, 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 very soon. I agree with you, Sawyer. I feel like they need to drop a date today, and it has to be within the next 4 weeks. Like, I feel like if they say it's not coming until 2024, even if it's early January, they're missing the boat completely. Every day on Twitch, every day on Steam, you can see the absolute attrition of their numbers. And that's with Game Pass propping them up. What's going on, Elijah? How you doing? 2 weeks maximum. I think they're okay if they say. I'm going to give them the benefit. This might be me just being soft, but I say if they say today it's coming in the next 4 weeks, it's fine. Because you got to remember, Thanksgiving is in there for a U.S. holiday, and a lot of games don't like to release content around that. So you basically have 2 weeks to drop it, or you skip the week and you go the week after Thanksgiving. Because unless you're dropping it on Black Friday, like, you dropping it on Black Friday is fine, but like most people don't want to drop it the week going up to Thanksgiving, because no one spends money from, like, basically when you look at a calendar and basically once it hits November 18th, no one's spending money on shit until the 24th. So you don't want to drop your DLC on the 20th or the 21st, because then it's just going to sit there and just atrophy. And you don't want your initial sales to look like garbage. So you have to either drop it on the 14th or you drop it the 28th. You could drop it on Black Friday, which would be fine. I don't want all killers third person. I think it would be a great addition to Dead by Daylight. Nancy and Chucky brought you back. Like, I can understand that, Yokai. They're great additions to Dead by Daylight. Like, as long as it's within, like, the first week of December, that's perfectly fine in my book. Black Friday, Nancy. Yes, see, that's exactly what I'm hitting at. You know, you gotta bamf. The freaking marketing does itself. All killer third person. I mean, that would be everyone Paradise. Like, I don't enjoy playing first person killers on PC either, Alex. Elijah, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Bring, bring. You gonna play zombies in third or first? Third. I want to see Ash. Would you be nice if it was setting to switch killers the third? Yes. Like, here's the thing. I would be, honestly, if they gave you a toggle, and even if you had to do it before a game started in Dead by Daylight, you had to, like, it's like a switch you turn on your settings, I'd be completely fine with it. I haven't played DBD for more than a year. I've come back to get all of Nancy's cosmetics. It's a good time to come back then. Now that Stranger Things is back, you got the PTB with Chucky right now. Like, DBD is definitely on a high. Naughty Bear is arguably the best skin that has ever come out in this game. Survivors to first. I mean, that'd be fine too. I prefer third person in general, especially with skins. That's exactly why. So, like, for example, I spent, $16 on my Naughty Bear skin. I want to see Naughty Bear. I don't just want to see his axe, or his machete, excuse me. Dead by Daylight in VR would be wild. I probably couldn't play because I'd just get sick. But the skins are still very pricey. They are. Like, I paid $20 for Ashley J. Williams in COD. Don't regret it, but I did it. But, like, here's the thing, and this is, when we're talking about TCM, one of their biggest faults is everything is soon trademark. Like, everything is coming soon. And Like, people hate that. People like Dead by Daylight does the exact opposite. Like, Dead by Daylight at their anniversary dropped a fucking roadmap that went all the way to the Christmas event. We knew what to expect all the way to the Christmas event. We knew which chapters were licensed, which chapters weren't, which chapters were going to have multiple survivors, which one was just survivor only. Like, we loved knowing that stuff. Even if we didn't know who was coming, we still knew that the PTB was going to be a single licensed killer. Turned out to be Chucky, but we knew it was coming because we saw it on the roadmap. Tiffany is going to give Naughty Bear a run for his money. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm still probably going to lean Naughty Bear, but Tiffany's going to be awesome. I'll buy her. I just got 2 cosmetics I wanted. Yellow gloves for Steve and dirty demo. Nice. Yeah, especially I would love to see my Bladed Xenomorph in third person. I did not get Bladed Xeno, but I would love to see my Xeno Queen in third person. So I'm with you. Saber the second. Oh, I hope not. Like, I'm actually doing a video on Saber and Evil Dead right now. It's not ready to be dropped yet, but it's in the works. Yeah, I paid $20 for Tasmi skin for Kiriko. Looks good, but I wouldn't do it again. I have it too. I have it. Hey, speaking of Kiriko, look what came in the mail yesterday! Yay! And she has a little kitsune! Look how adorable that is! Sorry, I just wanted to talk about that. So what we need for is Kevin back today in Fortnite? I don't know. Rainbow Six Siege DBD crossover. Woo. Yeah, it's just skins. And then you can get some DBD characters as operators in Rainbow Six. No one cares about that. Hold up. You can say that BVR is transparent with communication when their Q&As are just the same answer every time. I'm not saying they're crystal clear. I'm saying they're crystal clear with their content. The Demogorgon skin with the white goo looks so odd. Fair enough. DBD has a big W right now with Return of Hawkins. I just got my Funko Clownzilla in. Nice. Enjoy. Nice. I prefer Sombra, though. Oh, I do not. Sombra. I want Sombra deleted from the universe. I play RE62, and I could care less. It's more foggy than anything. Like, for me, I think having an idea. So, for example, I'm just going to show this right now, like, just as a comparison. Give me a second. I know I have it on my PC. Bear with me for just a moment. Yep, here it is. Okay. Give me a second just to move some stuff around. We're going to move this over here. You're going to see myself for a second, but I got a purpose behind this. What? Why does that look so weird? There we go. Fuck Sombra. So, like, for example, like, this is all the way till April. Like, we know what is going on. Like, you can't say that that is not transparency. Like we can clearly see, here was Nick Cage, here was Alien, here is Chucky. We know in January we're getting a new original Survivor. In March we're getting a new original. Like, we don't know if this one here is licensed or not, but we know what's coming. They even list when the in-game events are occurring. Like, this at least gives us a roadmap of what we're looking at. Like, this is a difference. Like, it is a difference no matter how you look at it. Here, let me move this out of the way. So, like, oh, that's the wrong one. I can just shrink that, because that's going to be for the actual stream. So, like, that there's a difference when you look at it. Like, you can actually see, like, how far they go, when the tomes start, what's going to happen, when in-game events occur, what the in-game events are. Like, that is a difference. Like, at least then you might not know what the new characters are going to be, but you know what's coming and what kind of time frame. Like, for me, that is a major difference. So, like, I don't look at that as the same. I look at that as a vastly different situation. DVD is doing good with Chucky and Zeno. Sombra is great character. Friday 13th also had a roadmap. Yeah. Where's the cross progression? Where's the twins rework? No one knows about those things. Oh, cross progression is just a figment of our imaginations. They did at least give us a room. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying Dead by Daylight's perfect in any way, shape, or form, because they're not. But at least they're giving us a roadmap. That's all I'm saying. Like, they don't, like, Gun does not have to give us the lowdown on every single thing. But if we knew, like, they never had to acknowledge that Nancy, or Black Nancy and Danny existed. But if they would have said, we're dropping, you know, a survivor, a map, and a family member on this day, or in this month, we at least had an idea of where we're heading. DVD is the best and perfect. That's just a lie, Sonata. Stop it. Nonsense. I really feel like Myers is getting a new costume and skin. Either that or just a head animation. But like this, like, just give everyone just a little bit of a heads up. Like, I feel like Gun is very, very, very too close to the chest. Like, when you keep stuff inside your vest like that, it gives people pause and it makes them nervous. Especially with how many ASIMs we've seen fall in our face in just the last year. Like Evil Dead, no more. VHS, no more. The last year just closed for a second time. Like, there's a lot of ASIMs just dying left and right that are not named Dead by Daylight. Saber left their cards at home. Yeah, they were like, we're done. They just picked up their ball and left. Literally nothing besides just continue. It is 3 months. Like, we're gonna be 3 months next week. No, it's not. Lol, DVD is hardly perfect, but they have done they have the formula down. I agree. What's going on, Fiddleman? Welcome to the stream. DVD isn't my favorite, but they always have something new or an event going on. Exactly. There's always something to grind for. Like, I've always talked about, one of the biggest things with ASIMs is respect my time. And that's for really any kind of live service game at its nature. Respect my time. Give me something to talk about. Give me something to work for. Give me something to do. Give me a cool cosmetic to earn, or give me something battle pass to work on. Let me do something in the game other than just play the same play loop over and over again. Now that Evil Dead is buggered, do you think we can get Ash in Mortal Kombat 1? I mean, possibly. I'm struggling with Mortal Kombat 1. I feel like it's the worst Mortal Kombat in like 4 generations. I was loving the last year until it died again. Yeah, I was actually starting to get back into it too, Myers. I have it on my PC. I just deleted it the other day, but it died again. What time's the dev stream start? It's allegedly supposed to start in 7 minutes, Sage. I have the stream up. As soon as it goes, like, it switches over to being live, I'll bring it in. You wish you got your money back for the last year? I understand that. But, like, this is the problem with ASIMs. Like, right now, the ASIM world is not in a good place. Like, when Ghostbusters is arguably the most consistent, fun to play ASIM, we're not in a good place. Just getting thrown off the top of the giant tower by a giant spider was well worth playing. That's fair. Oh, by the giant. Yeah, like, I get it. Like, we're definitely in. They have to talk about some big things today. Did Ghostbusters put up a new weekly? I haven't even noticed. And Ghostbusters, I don't know what's going on, but they, like, the last 2 days, them and Dead by Daylight have been having some weird flirting going on with, like, Dwight in a Ghostbusters outfit, and then the Ghostbusters fighting Chucky. Like, I wonder if there's some smoke there. Oh yeah, Frozen whatever looks really good, Carson. And I'm sure, because they've done it with every single part of the franchise, you'll see, like, that kind of stuff show up in Spirits Unleashed. I will say DVD make me work for the Ashley skin. Very much worth it. Yeah, I mean, it was sad that how much better the Asylum skin was in Dead by Daylight compared to Evil Dead the game. Like, that's just an absolute travesty. Like, the fact that Ashy Slashy talks in a game that's not Evil Dead is just ridiculous. What's going on, Viking? You do. The time zone worked out for you. I'm not on my normal time. I'm vibing. Let's go. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the turnover, and then I'll turn the music off and I'll bring them in. Like, where was my sexy cop outfit for Amanda? Yeah, where was anything for David? I had to look at the same stupid jean outfit the entire time I played him. Like, no, make it stop. I hate it so much. Evil Dead reduced him into a little weirdo, like, hip charm. Yeah, it made no sense. Have you ever gotten Ugg Tasmans before? I don't know what that means, South. Bumblebee, what's going on? Welcome back, buddy. How you doing? There's a dev stream happening. It's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, Slayer of the West. We're just chilling and vibing while we wait. Kind of a little bit of a waiting room situation. The dev stream should be going live in 3 minutes. I'm glad to hear that, buddy. David, I will go on a limb. I will not say I'm the best at Evil Dead the game, but I will claim the role of the #1 David in Evil Dead the game. It's a really comfy slipper. Oh, like Uggs. Okay, gotcha. I was thinking like a video game. I'm like, I'm not familiar with that. Shame we never got Brandy. There's a shame we didn't get a lot of stuff. Like the fact we didn't get, anything else from Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead 1 was just ridiculous. Ugh. Nothing for Evil Dead Rise. Never got Chet. Like, fucking stupid. The waiting room for a dev stream is like the lobby for the match. I guarantee you the hour we waited for this dev stream will be shorter than a normal TCM lobby. We'll be fine, right? I wanted to give you that authentic feel. Imagine they're 2 hours late. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I'm old. Or the cyborg lady at the end. Yeah, Lexi. That's her name. Her name is Lexi. I never played Evil Dead ever. You missed out. It, in my opinion, was the best ASIM. It's a shame horror games are dying off. I agree. Do we know what's getting covered in this? No, Slayer. They're supposed to talk about a quote-unquote lot of stuff. What that actually means, we have no fucking clue. It's Wes and it's Matt. So the community manager and the CEO. Hey, that's what I do. I build hype, Fiddleman. I'm a hype man. Hype man on the mic. Yo, check, 1, 2. 2 minutes till straight. I have it up. As soon as they turn it on, I'll bring it in. Well, I'm glad to hear it as well, Slayer. Welcome to the stream. Did you hear DVD Breakers broke due to everyone wanted Broly, right? Right as it went free to play. No. If we get a Stranger Things ASIM game, Pixels will cream his pants. I know we will. I was talking to Pixels like a little bit earlier. We were deciding which one of us was going to do this stream. Because I was like, if you want to do it, I'll leave it to you. And he was like, why don't you just do it? I don't feel like streaming today. And I was like, all right, I got you, boo. Wes has a handsome mustache, be honest. He does. I'm actually clean shaven today, so I have no facial hair whatsoever. What's going on, Spooda? I think a Stranger Things ASIM game would be fucking awesome. The Reddit questions people are asking kind of have me worried. People want more voice lines when we want... Like, voice lines are cool when you have a functioning game. Like, listening to Chucky banter or listening to Nick Cage banter or Naughty Bear banter in Dead by Daylight is great, but they have a functioning game with a system that works. But, like, that is not what we need right now, is to have, like... Leland shoulder thrust someone and say, suck my dick, Leatherface. Like, that's not what we need at this moment. What are they streaming on? They're on Twitch. We're going to restream it. 11 would have banned you. Your psychic abilities on cooldown. Pixel! Pixels. Get ready for a lot of stay tuned. Yeah, I was just talking about you. All good, of course. I don't think Scream would work as an ASIM. What Scream needs to be is like a whodunit kind of game where everyone like randomly loads in as the ghost face, and then you kind of lay clues of like try to like convince everyone else. Something more like Deceit, but like with, you know, thought your ears were burning. Yeah. I was saying how we were talking back and forth like who was actually going to do this today. Tempest Phoenix Red bought the game TCM and I've only played it twice. I understand that. Spooter OP, I agree. Facts, big facts. So they're late for their second dev stream, just like they were for their first one. Among Us reskin Scream. Yeah, like, I don't know if you guys have ever played the DC games because they're really only on PC, but they would be like a perfect setting for a Scream game. They're like hardcore Among Us. Bro, if we get a lot of stay tunes, this is a massive L. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeet. Pixels is your dad? I did not know that. Congratulations, Crash. There was a first one? Yeah, it dropped a week before the game came out and introduced the leveling system and what the skill trees were going to look like. How about a Sonic ASIM game? I'd be down with that. I couldn't be artist. I know you. That's what I said. That's why I said I'd do it. I got the second one from the company that makes the game as a review copy. I did my review video on it, and like the C2 is brutal if you never played the first one. Like the learning curve, they did put in more of like a leveling MMR system recently, but man, it was rough. As soon as Hawkins, up here they go. They're going live. Let me bring it in. I'm just getting commercials, so give me a second. So I'm bringing them in now. I'm gonna take the chat off until I need it. Oh, even their stream says starting soon. How ironic. The stream. Stay tuned. I had a dream at the end of the last season. Strange things happen in my city, and I was working as a Ghostbuster. I would watch that movie, Jack. Sorry. I was updating things. Let me just make sure. Catch up on things. All right. We need an old head ASIM game. Imagine old head as a killer. I would be the most lethal killer ever until I break a hip. Bumblebee Tuna. I'm just playing some MK1. I struggle with that game. I really wish I liked it, but I did just download Omni-Man Spooter. Last year had so much potential. Yeah, it did, and then it died. Home Sweet Home Online, super underrated horror. I've not played that one, Card, so I might have to check that out. This was it took them 60 days looking at old UIs from the 80s and Data Magazine to come up with this. So, you know, let them cook. Carnival Hunt. I'm all for Carnival Hunt. I absolutely will be involved with Carnival Hunt. I was actually one of the Kickstarter backers. I've done videos on it on my channel, Tempest. I keep up to date whenever they update on their Discord. I have beta access key as soon as it goes live. Yeah, I'm all in. It looks like it's going to be so much fun. And it is coming to console because we got far enough in on the Kickstarter. Stay tuned, the stream. Chop Top will save the game only if he actually comes. I don't think he will. Chucky's fun as hell. He's fun to play against, and he's fun to play as. Home Sweet Home is only online in the Big East region. Oh, okay. Omni-Man does look fun. Hey, I'm new to this channel. Love your videos. My friend told me about this. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Joaquin. Well, thank you for dropping in. Looks like a Shutterstock. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Tiffany is the Tiffany skin voiced by the real Jennifer? Yes, it is. Jennifer Tilly is the voice of Tiffany in the game. Yeah, so we're gonna go live at 4 and then give you a 10-minute clock. And they went live 5 minutes late, so there's something else. Some of Chucky's animations seem janky. Apart from that, he's fun to play. I think it's just getting used to playing from the third-person perspective, Nil. Like, it's a very unique way to play a DBD killer. Right back on time, or say 4:15. I know, right? Just say we're going to be live at 4:15. Maybe they would announce Vilmer with Matthew Voice's character. I doubt it. They gave us a whole TCM lobby clock. Yes, they did. Welcome back to the reality. Old head, you gonna be Walking Dead Destiny's game? I've applied for a code. I'll see if I get it. But it does look really interesting. This is they want to give you the authentic feel, Orion, of a lobby. Had to add some time to think ahead, non-answers. Yeah. Like, I mean, how hard is it for them to be ready just to go, we'll talk about that, stay tuned, or it's coming soon? Stream hasn't started, it's already an L. The TCM lobby clock. They should have just had, like, someone not playing as Leatherface on the screen. And then have the clock reset. Yeah, we were playing him yesterday on the stream. We went against him a little bit and played as him, Joaquin. Yeah, he'll be available in game the 28th. Developer stream, stay tuned. The Walking Dead game is made by the same people who made Skull Island, so it's probably going to be. Oh, is it really? I did not know that. Ooh, good gravy. Will Tiffany have her own voice lines better than Chuck? I've seen she has about 20 minutes herself, the same as Chucky. I'm gonna get myself banned if they say it again. Oh, were you banned from their last dev stream? Imagine if DBD announces a Walking Dead chapter with Rick, Michonne, Negan with legendary skins that's clip. Dude, Caden, if that came through, I would lose my shit. I just knocked over a transformer. I just knocked over a poor blaster. I got so excited with the whole Clementine portion, I just lost my mind. Maybe Skull Island was bad, so Walking Dead could be good? I hope so. Or it's gonna be the Walking Dead Golem. Yeah, I just knocked over my blaster figure. You would be broke after that chapter. I would love Negan as a killer. Could you imagine how many Lucille cosmetics we would get? I did a full walkthrough of Golem. It's available on my channel. I know how awful that game is. Crazy wait time. Clement Lee's story was savage. I cried. I literally cried at the end of the first Walking Dead Telltale episode. Dead ass cried. The game, of course. Will Chucky have other skins? Yeah. So first he has the legendary Tiffany skin, and he also has a rare skin dropping at launch. You need Negan to have his voice. Oh yeah, you absolutely need him to be like original actor version. Save wildcard football, where it's at. I've never watched The Walking Dead. People say online to read the comics before the show. If you read the comics, like after season 2, it just goes off kind of on its own. The comics are better. A Pearl DC with her farmhouse. I have not watched Pearl. I've only watched X so far, Tempest, but I have to get the Pearl. I was a 7-year-old when I played the Walking Dead game. Man, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, yeah. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was great in many things. I really feel like there's a Last of Us crossover DVD that would be bloated killer. Ugh, I don't want that. Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is the true killer, is the true Negan. Season 1 through 7, good. Anything after that's pretty shit. I miss it. Listen, the Walking Dead series never got my favorite character, and I always hold it against it. There are changes from the show and the comic, like some characters lived, others died. Jeffrey 100% would have to voice Negan. Absolutely. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah, the comics are better. Also in the comics, you get Old Man Carl, who is the greatest character in all of Walking Dead. No, you just have to keep clicking like dink, 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 dink. Just play Tekken for Negan. Yeah, that's right. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan did the voice of him in Tekken too. I actually really enjoy the Negan series that's going on right now with Maggie. The first season was fucking awesome. What was that, Dead Island? What? I'm sorry to hear that. Dead City. Sorry. That's what it was. Well, I'm doing great, Joaquin. I'm just glad you're here. Great time to be a gamer at the moment with all these announcements. I agree with that. I haven't watched a single episode of the Daryl show. I'm going to do the same thing, Pixels, I did with Dead City, and just wait till it's all out and then just binge it over like 2 days. I've read the Invincible comics. They're fantastic. The Walking Dead's really, really good too. I haven't watched Daryl's. Like I said, I just haven't watched Daryl's. I just binged. Usually, like, we have the AMC app. My wife watches a lot of shows on AMC, so I just usually load them into my queue, and then I watch them all the way through. I've seen The Boys season 1 through 3, but I haven't watched the new spinoff yet. So guys, what do you want? Do you just want the screen, or do you want chat as well? Like, I can put up the chat, but I wasn't planning on it. Gen V was amazing. All right, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, I'm all for Scooby-Doo skins in Dead by Daylight since the dawn of time. Yeah, let's bring Chet to Dead by Daylight. He didn't get into Evil Dead, so, you know, why not? Yeah, the strike ended today, though, so they might be able to catch up. The strike is no longer going on. The writers have been back to work for about 2 months now, so. If Chet went to DVD, you'd see a grown-ass man cry. Oh, poor Pixels. Who would be Velma? Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like Meg would get the Daphne skin. Gen V was great. You definitely need to watch it before the Boys season 4. All right, I'll make sure I do that. Like, I'm caught up on the Boys. Dwight being Shaggy. Fung could be Velma. Of course it would be Fung. Absolutely. Why? Who else would I even think about? Yeah, I think Meg. No, maybe Kate. Kate would probably get the Daphne skin. Felix would get the Fred. I've been watching Invincible. It's good as fuck. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I haven't watched a new season yet. Will we get a Bladed Chucky? Probably not till next year. I think we need a Jane Velma more juice. Felix is Fred? Yeah, absolutely. Just no Mindy Kaling crap. Nah, Jake would be Scooby-Doo. I could see that. Like the doggy. I could see Jake as Scooby. Raggy? Come on, man. Let's go, Scoob Jake. Invincible greater than the Boys. Ooh, that's a spicy take. I don't think they would do Nia for Velma, to be honest, Yokai. That's a spicy meatball, Spooter. All right, here we go.
Hey, yo, what's up, guys?
We're 15 minutes late, but here we go.
You know, I want to check just something before we really get off the rip here. The last time we did this.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Folks were saying they couldn't hear us. So as you can see,
Meanwhile, DVD Mobile got more. Please, oh, Caden, I hate DVD Mobile with a red hot burning passion.
So if you guys don't mind in chat, let us know. Does this volume sound right to you?
A couple people saying that that it sounds good and all that.
Okay.
We got a nugget.
Let me
over here. Yeah,
let me see if I can get it up. It's up max on mine.
Oh, the Nuggets did mess with that blanket, about knocked it off.
You still can't hear him?
Oh yeah.
Gets a little rowdy.
Let me see if I can turn up my volume here.
My name's Matt. I'm your
Any
brand
better?
strategy lead here at Gun. I'm joined by President and CEO Wes Keltner. Some of you might have seen on social what we're planning on doing here, and
All right, groovy.
Just in case you haven't, just in case you picked up, random Guns Going Live notification and you popped in.
All right, great. That's what I want to make sure of. I dropped any kind of like gate at all on my audio to get as high as I could.
With socials, with Reddit, with all
Twitch
of these
streams is
areas
max
that we
volume.
interact with you guys.
I removed any gates.
That being said, sometimes maybe those questions are answered more in like a reply, like a one-on-one thing, and they don't make.
I might move myself to the left too because Wes is sitting on the right.
In order for you guys to know where we're at and what we're doing, we needed to just put it out there and say, okay, get your questions in this thread. We'll answer them live. We'll talk a little bit, and hopefully at the end we'll have some time to go through some live questions that are in the chat. Now, I will say this. Chat is being moderated. We've got a whole team out there. You guys might know Sid, Andy, Raj, and Mel. They're all out there.
Yeah, it's
watching,
Mom's basement.
moderating.
Yeah, this is
Rob
Gun
Henderson
headquarters.
there. Quick shout out to Rob. Well, hey, there he is.
I mean, there's only 12 people, so they can all work in the basement.
Working this thing, so
what's going on, Doom?
There too. Everybody's kind of all hands on deck working this. So, drop your questions in the chat. Feel free to drop them now, even though we're going to be answering that Reddit thread first. Feel free to ask them now. And
that Reddit thread was trash. I can't imagine how bad this is going to be.
Toward the end of the show, we'll address them. That being said, we have a whole thread, 400.
Yeah, a lot.
There was 400. I mean, last I looked, 450 something questions in that thread.
Yep.
But we did what we could to combine them and condense them a bit, so that hopefully we're hitting all of them.
Oh
Even
no!
If you don't hear your question asked word.
It's a pretty big basement.
Hear an answer
It's very comfy looking
that's right.
with that
We tried to
70s
find all the
motif.
duplicates that were in all that. You can thank Andy
Maybe
and
we
Tim
need to
for that, and
count
Sid as well.
for.
They both tracked that.
Ooh, I
We
can
went
put
through
one
and
up.
Found anything that seemed like a duplicate or that's kind of the same thing and combine it into one. So again, we'll read the questions and you may find like, oh, that's kind of like what I asked. That's that was the point of consolidating that. So, you ready to jump into this?
Yeah, I was honestly about to say, considering that we just talked about how many questions we had, we ought to not waste any time. So our first question coming through over the Reddit that we're going to tackle today is, are there long-term plans for the game, i.e. additional family members and victims down the line?
Yeah, there are. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 9 months worth of content we're planning. That's maps and new characters and some new.
All right, there's a
all
stay
kinds of new
tuned
things we've got
/
planned
soon
for you guys.
category.
Obviously, if there's still a player base and you guys are still buying things, we're going to keep building them. I mean, that's how this works, is every dollar that comes in from...
Waiting for counts to Hank.
I put it
Do
in
not
content
even
and
summon
service.
them. I don't want that tiki
That will
mug,
keep
pixels.
the ship afloat. So,
I just lagged. Any lag?
yes,
I don't think
that's
so.
Our current plan.
69-month plan. All right.
If
69
you guys don't mind, we're
noise.
going to kick through these. I know this is going to seem kind of weird and I don't mean to derail our show here, but
No, sorry,
I know it's
Peter.
gonna seem kind of strange for a live stream for us.
Do you have any developer bingo card? I do not. I should have made one.
For a little bit here, but
We just put up the stay tuned soon meter.
Get the most out of this for you guys. That's kind of how we're going to go at it. So right away we're going to.
I should have. I didn't even think of it.
See any events in the future that are a little more involved than a double XP event was? Will we ever see challenges added to the game, weekly or daily, where players can earn XP or skill points or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is yes. It's something that we actually wanted in at launch as well, and the way that we were trying to get it put in there, it wasn't coming to fruition the way we wanted it to. So we had something we had to punt on.
It's 6 to 9 months. They said 69 months worth of content planned. That's
yeah,
5 years.
I can't tell you a date or when that's going to happen or if that's going to happen, but I know it's a thing we've all discussed, we've all wanted. And there's some telemetry and stuff that's already into the game that helps us.
Are they going to be adding events or daily, weekly quests?
So, short answer, yes.
In the name of transparency, I do think it's important to note, a lot of
No,
times in
he
this
said we have
business,
69
you say, well, this is something we would like to
months
do,
worth
but
of content
we've got
planned.
other things to kind of tackle in order to launch this game, in order to get the game out the door to everybody, get it out on time, get it out hopefully in a good spot. And a lot of you, just being 100% transparent, you know how the game
69.
launched, and you know how that went, and you know how that we went into a bit of a short turnaround patch cycle in order to get some things under control and get some things into a place where we wanted to. Now we're moving into that longer patch cycle. Part of that is
Like
as
the
we've
position,
been
yes,
performing the price a lot
nice.
throughout this stream. It's shoring things up. We've been stacking those rapid patches on top of each other. We need to make sure the foundation is in a generally better
It did.
spot.
That
So
was the
keep taking a little
caveat,
more time, you
though.
harden the
We have
build, you do all the
69
big
months worth of
runs and all
stuff
of
planned
that.
as long as
Part
you're
of that is
playing and
also
buying
hopefully so we
stuff.
can work on
Wink,
starting to
wink.
integrate some of
There's
those
the
things
out.
that weren't quite, there for launch, but we knew we wanted to try and tackle. And community challenges, just from my particular expertise and where I slot in at Gun, are obviously very important to me. But I also
Yes,
think you guys
Vegeta,
can understand and
69.
appreciate that. We had things we wanted to get to first, and now that we're getting through that, we can look to those things again. Thoughts on allowing for different skill tree presets so we don't have to change the entire skill tree every time when we want to enjoy a different build, as well as a skill tree for every loadout. Well, now,
I think that one, a lot of that falls on you. You were an integral part of how the perks, put together, the metagame, that whole piece. You worked hand in hand with Kirby over at Sumo on that.
Yeah, the thing.
If
with
you
the skill
keep
trees
buying,
that's a little
we'll
tricky
keep
when it
making.
comes to this kind of topic is, we put a lot of effort into making sure that those skill trees are plotted out. Each, and I'll try to keep this short because we do also have the Metagame Explained VOD up on the channel. You can check it out on our Twitch. And a lot of this is covered there, but we tried to make sure that we separated, certain perks into different parts of those trees. We decided on which perks would even be available in certain trees, and then we.
I agree. The XP is bad when it's not a double XP.
Roll spot here and there where they could get ones that are outside of the tree, and that was how we envisioned it pre-launch. Now we know that there's been friction over the random perks. We know there's been friction over, how that respecing and all of that works. So obviously we're listening to the feedback, but I think that something with creating a situation where those trees kind of change is going to be more down the line, maybe with, the rank 99 push up past 99, which we'll talk about. There's a question here directly related to that.
He's going to say
Possibly
nope.
with a push past rank 99, possibly with more content.
Double
or more
XP's.
metagame unlocked.
I don't know if weekly is needed, but at least they got to make sure there's like a once per month.
But as it stands right now, we want to try to make sure that when you're building with intent, and you have some things that are cut off to you, because again, there's not really much of a need for a tree if you can just say, well, all of this is mine now, and you kind of get to this point where there's no more experimenting or moving around throughout that tree.
No risk reward. No.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. That being said, we hear the feedback on it. In the situation with random perks, we've got a lot of great ideas kicking around as far as when those will come to fruition, probably with some type of extension of that level cap.
Are we gonna count that as a stay tuned, chat? Is that a stay tuned?
Expect new patches.
So, no, we won't ever put out a public roadmap. We have our own internal stuff that we're hitting, but I don't like putting out roadmaps because it means if something out of our control happens,
That's a soon. All right, mark it up.
That's a broken promise. Then I don't like doing that. And honestly, we learned some of that from Friday 13th. We put out some roadmaps. Things went bad. Things that were out of our control.
No roadmaps. Fail.
It didn't go well. Sentiment of the community turned, all because of they kept referencing the roadmap, and it was like, hey guys, this is out of our control. But it's hard to explain that to a whole lot of people. So it's easier for us to we know our own things we want to do, and we're targeting those. And as soon as we feel like those are in a strong position, we'll start revealing that information to you
Well,
guys.
Matt said he was going to come back to it, so we'll see what we see with that one.
New patches, yeah. So now that we're out of hotfix mode and back and into actual legitimately the long-term fixes we know we want and new content, things like that. I think you can rest assured around every 30 to 45 days we'll be targeting a patch. Sometimes those are all strictly just fixes, and then sometimes you'll see some with new content in them. But that's our current sort of trajectory for new, bigger, air quote, bigger patches.
Oh, I just did air quotes, and we got them from Wes. Huh. How ironic.
Next question would be: are there any plans to bring crossplay to 8th gen consoles? This is a good one.
I mean, at this time, no. Technically, it's quite difficult to do a major time sync.
Fuck you, PS4 and Xbox One.
It's far more intricate than it might seem. I'm not saying no forever. It's not going to happen. But right now, it would eat up so much of our time of the things that we know we want to do.
We ain't got time for that.
We're concentrating on new content and fixing some things that are there, getting some quality of life stuff done that we know we want. And that one's it's just a bigger nut to crack. And again, it's not a definitive no, but right now it's not on the docket.
The cunking of old Jet was not on my bingo card. They're like PS4, Xbox One.
Some of you are going to be a little let down by that answer, but I think that it's important for us. The goal of this show, the goal of what we're doing here is to try to get these answers out there to as many people as possible.
Well, they're being honest at least.
We try to talk about these things in conversations, but you know how that goes. Those are pockets. And I think that there's a lot of people who maybe were holding out some kind of hope that was coming.
I haven't seen any W's yet. Yeah, there are some L's. There are some L's.
Crossplay isn't working because they're on.
I agree, Myers.
Consoles,
I think it's an L so far.
For the sake of us having this kind of a conversation with you guys, I think that there's a lot in here that even if you don't want, the answer is not necessarily something that you wanted to hear. I think that this is good because we're hopefully getting a lot of these things cleared up so we can have a lot less of those.
I feel much worse for the PS4 owners than the Xbox One owners because every one of them paid for it.
In-game currencies, metagame. There's a long one.
It's a long one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear this one.
Let's pick this one apart. You're going to add levels further than 99 and add in-game currencies, metagame, and a prestige system.
Are we raising the level from 99? Yes. That is happening. I can't give you a date when it's happening, but
there's a soon.
An ongoing discussion here.
One soon so far.
Every other day it comes up in design meetings where we're discussing how we want to do that. The second part of that was about whether it be currencies for earning. It's also been an ongoing discussion here. It's a thing that we think is a smart move. It gives people something to grind towards. And it gives them obviously also an option to, if you can't afford or you don't want to buy the content that we're putting out, is there an alternate way that you could get to it? Yes, and I think that's fair.
That's a stay tuned.
We want to work towards that. Again, I don't have a date in front of me because we literally came out of hotfix mode, which is just, putting out as many fires as we can, as fast as we can. And then it was, rolling into this biggest patch because we had to merge all those splintered builds.
I mean, at least I like what they're saying here.
Which is what this next big quality of life patch is going to do. So that gives us a far more of a wider vision to allow us to look down the road and say, that's a thing and we can get this in this time. Let's figure that out. So the short answer on, will there be currency in the game? We want it. We think it's a smart play. I can't give you a date as to when. And there's much more to this question.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to note, though, that's kind of tied to that, and if you've been here since the Friday the 13th days, you know that when we went through the extension of the levels in Friday the 13th,
stay tuned. The stream. Wes OP mustache.
We don't want to just extend the level cap just to be like, now there's more numbers to earn for numbers' sake. That's weird. We want to make sure that there's something there that you're working toward, that you're earning. And so I think that a lot of that, the particulars of that question, they kind of slot into.
I can understand that, Tempest.
The game is built in a way where it's somewhat modular and the trees can expand and all of that, but there needs to be something there for you to get to. And without that, it's just
they literally have no excuse. They worked on Friday. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Ilphonic mostly did Friday. They did a lot of the heavy lifting on Friday.
Discussions are happening, and it's something we hear you guys loud and clear on. The
P5 chat, let's go.
The next part of that question is, are you going to add something to earn in the base game and give players an incentive to play? Now, that would be, I take that, and I hope I'm not misinterpreting the question, I take that as the base game like sub 99, just in general. Will that currency work its way back down that way?
Right. Or are there things that are like, if the level goes up, are there things that are going to appear in that I can
cosmetics,
unlock?
So on,
And the answer to that is yes as well. That's something that we want to do as well, because it kind of makes sense that if there's things that you can buy and things that you can earn, that should be in the game.
Saber in disguise. Saber in disguise.
I'm gonna let you tackle that one.
Well, here's the thing about adding achievements and trophies. There's a group of people who, achievement hunters and things, and even just non-achievement hunter folks who are just like, yeah, cool, that's another thing to work toward. There's a group of people who are like, hey, don't mess with my, platinum trophy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But again, I think it ties into that concept of we don't want to add things just to be like, we did that, and now there's more things.
Saber's Apprentice.
Where they make sense, would we consider it? I'm sure that we would consider it. I think what we want to hear from you guys is how you guys feel about it, because I'll be honest, aside from this question and maybe a few off the cuff
Who's getting the tiki
I haven't really
mug?
heard too much either way. I would have to check in with Sid and Andy out there on.
I can't even count
side a little more
addressing
about that.
trophies
But
as
I
a
think
soon
that if
or
there's
stay
enough of
tuned.
a want for more achievements, and if we hear enough about that, obviously
That's not going on the board, I don't think.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, we don't want to necessarily. You don't want to aggravate either side of that argument, but I think that
McNuggets giveaway. Oh, it's
if
coming.
there's something there that's worth working toward, we can always talk about that and figure that out down the line. So let us know. Continue talking to us on Reddit and socials and everywhere else on those things. Let's get in here. Oh, this is a good one. Is there
They never
anything
mentioned the
players have
prestige
done that has
system.
surprised you?
So they talked about the
I mean, I think
prestige
any
system in the
person
conversation,
can,
and then they skipped the answer completely.
Many moments where you're like, they're doing what? So
Tiki mugs for
the
everyone.
odd thing is, you always, when you sit and design the game, you always then say to yourself, yeah, but people are going to play this like faster than what you've designed it to do, and you know that in your head. But then when you see it in the live, you're like, that's like double what I thought they were going to play in terms of speed.
My
if you spend
gosh.
the time that we spend on making the levels feel as immersive as we can.
Do we need
and
completely
leaning
ignored?
into stealth as
All
a
right.
mechanic to use, and it just how all the systems sort of all play into the pace of the way we designed it, and then the player base plays that at like 2x, and you're like, oh, slow down. So that's, for me, was probably a pretty big surprise. And the other side, which I know everyone.
All right,
in chat
we're
would probably
updated.
Go, why were you surprised by that? I guess it's because the internet always, you just kind of roll your eyes, but a lot of horny people out there in the world.
The horniness is off the charts.
It's at a 10 out of 10 for stuff in the game, and I'm like, what?
That horny
second
bonk coming.
everything that you said, but I also have to call out the toilet flush meta.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That surprised the crap out of me because because there were times where I was just like, that when you're building the game, you think about it in terms of people are going to flush this toilet to make a noise so that then they can evade the family. But the concept of somebody knowing the family's in the next room, flushing the toilet, and like then going and hiding in the corner, or going a loop-de-loop and then flushing it again, and being able to, not just use it to distract them, but use it to keep them in that area with them while their buddies escape. And the toilet flush thing.
They're impressed by the
was a
toilet
shock.
flush meta. There it is.
And marathons of stabbing Grandpa. I know that in pre-launch, I would go stab Grandpa, and I felt like our colleagues out there or over at Sumo would be on me immediately as family. If I stabbed them, it was within seconds. I had all three of them at me, but the stab Grandpa meta definitely surprised me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Will there be a possible way to make Leatherface not mandatory? Do
Uh-oh.
you guys have any ideas, plans, or incentives to get more people to play Leatherface? I still run into lobbies with people refusing to play him.
Okay, so the first part of that question was,
Will
there
they
be a way
remove
to
it?
make Leatherface not mandatory?
Yeah.
Yes, and that's coming by the end of the month. So you
Whoa.
You will no longer need Leatherface to start a match.
Okay. That's a big one.
Ways to make him more fun, is that what they said?
Yeah, before we roll into that, I want to touch on something, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. but
There's an
I think it's
answer.
important
There's an
that we know.
actual answer. By the end of November, we will not have Leatherface mandatory. That's a
Leatherface is an
big,
important
big
part of
dub.
every match. Now, I think that some of you are going to go, oh, all right, Leatherface is not mandatory, and hop right in there and play without Leatherface and start realizing why maybe Leatherface was a little bit mandatory to start with. There's going to be growing pains with this, guys. I'm not saying this to be any kind of way. There's going to be growing pains. So get ready. When you see no Leatherface, just know that match is going to run a little different. You're missing a significant part of that match. That being said, we want to hear all of your feedback once that hits, because I think that's going to be a really interesting time for the game.
I agree.
Having that force not present.
They are
in every
removing
match.
Bubba mandatory, but I don't think they're removing any of the infinites or anyone spawning in the basement the way they're talking about it.
People are going to go, Oh wait, I
missed
get
that.
it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
missed
need
that.
that.
Yeah, for
so.
sure.
Yep,
But anyway,
Spooter.
I digress.
Or maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
Maybe it's the greatest.
Probably
decision,
that's not
and
happening. They've
everyone's
already
like,
answered
it's
that
great
one
because
too.
There's a new formula of like
Yeah.
you need. Oh, if you have systems
Yes.
on Cook, it's awesome. Like that kind of mentality could actually prove to really changing up.
So basically, they're like, we're going to take Leatherface away so you can start a match, but you're fucked if they can just keep running away from you.
Server game flow moving faster. I think it will help with that, but I think there's some tack on that could go either way here. That you guys could, again, like Matt was alluding to, realize, oof, we really need him, or this new formula of changing things up could actually make the game feel different. So
we'll definitely see a couple new builds, or not build, but match synergies with different compositions because, like you said, just being able to have. I mean, I think about Hitchhiker, Sissy, and Cook, having someone listening, and then two people being able to scurry around and get right to him. I mean, there's going to be some deadly combos.
that's that rat squad, boy.
Yeah, exactly. And there's going to be some combos there that, like, maybe we didn't even see. Again, the previous question about things that surprised us that we didn't.
I mean, it's
see
gonna be
coming.
interesting.
So
I at least like that they're listening on that because
That's gonna be a very
Leatherface
important
being
factor. You guys
mandatory was a
engage with us and
horrible,
engage with our
horrible
community.
component.
And make sure that you're talking and keeping that communication open because there's going to be a lot of fun stuff there to see.
I mean, clearly there's going to have to be a
Second part of
patch
that
this
was
month. There's no other way.
incentives to get more people to play Leatherface.
I don't know if we're looking at like a player incentive as in a reward necessarily, but we are, always fine tuning.
Imagine if Evil Dead was a game.
And turning knobs and whatnot to get them to a place that we feel like that's the intended way they're supposed to feel. So I think you can expect to see Leatherface potentially getting. I think we've already made some adjustments.
I can see that, Yokai.
And even maybe in the next.
Now we all need to be able to do two of the
about
same
feeling a little
victims.
More beefy.
I don't know about that, Orion.
I want to come back to that question when you see what gameplay is without him. If you're starting to play a bunch of,
I don't want to
matches
go against four
and there is
Connies.
no Leatherface. What are your thoughts then? Do you want him? Not only do you want him back,
Game
do you
over
want
in
him back
14
to
seconds.
be even more deadly. Do you want him back and he should be trimmed back a little? These are all the discussions that we all have as a.
And we loaded in, and they're free.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that as much as, even though we're removing the requirement for him, ultimately the goal is to have people fighting over picking him. I mean, wanting to be him. And so it's something that, but again, like Wes said, it's a field of knobs that we're going to continue turning and seeing how things go. And a vital part of that is the community, coming back to us. And
Basically, they're saying what I said in my video a long time ago. They never
let's see
saw
here. Is there
Leatherface
any
being
chance an
unpopular.
in-game friends list could be added for crossplay players.
Yeah, this one's I mean, the short answer is no.
No friends list. It's never coming.
Blunt and terse for you guys, but that would mean we have to build an account system. That's just the way that crossplay works. The fact that players from different platforms can play together. The only way to be able to then create a friend list is to have our own account system. It's why like a PlayStation player can't like friend list into Microsoft's ecosphere and the Xbox. Like you just can't do that. You'd have to create a uniform account system. So you'd have to sign in with a username, password, that kind of thing. And I don't like that when I play a game. And it's also a costly endeavor to build that whole system. That's a year plus just to build that system. And then there's a lot of security has to go in to make sure that like your data, your information isn't, leaked or something that happens. There is some off the shelf things you can use.
I don't know,
the most
Panzer.
common one that's used is the Epic Game Store one, and not everyone loves that either. So there's just not a good
Epic is
solution
common, though.
to be able to do that today. I think as more games move into crossplay,
Funny, Evil
that
Dead didn't require you to
it's
sign
gonna
up for
become more
fucking. They did
cost-effective
not.
and maybe some more
Pixels.
off-the-shelf
They did not.
solutions to do that. But right now, it requires you would have to when you boot the game up, it would hit you with the create a username and password. I hate that.
Yeah. There's
Saber
also
Interactive knew that
lot
would be
of
an
solutions
issue.
that has to be handled of theirs and new account. There's friction anytime a player has to create a new.
Well, other games do it and make it work, asshole.
There's
This game is
layers to
pissing.
that
Wes
one,
is pissing you off.
Wes
Yokai's raging over there.
pretty thoroughly. Next question: do any devs secretly play the game undercover? And if so, how can we identify them or telltale signs? This is such a weird question. This is like
Who
that-
fucking cares?
no,
that
it's
person
not.
in the window,
It's
like
not.
where's
Yeah.
that developer at?
Right.
You
But I
know?
mean, there's also like, like not weird people that are just
right.
oh man, it'd be cool to play with the devs. Now,
Yeah.
once we get to a spot where we can turn this stream on and we do jump in and play, and you guys can queue up and we play together, like all day, we should be doing that, right? Because I kind of want to run through a handful of these you jokers out there, but I'm not going to speak
Oh my
for
God.
Gun and say, yeah, here's all their handles, because a lot of them still go home and turn on the game and play as just a way to chill out and just kind of decompress from the day. And they don't necessarily want people being weird, like, oh my God, it's a dev. Like, I saw it all the time in Friday. If I jumped into Friday and just so happened to be Jason, people would come up and like stand in front of me and be like, kill me, I want to be killed by a dev. And I'm like, just let's play the game, guy. Let's play. And they're like, no, you know. And so I'm not saying that everyone's weird, but there's some weird people that start to act differently, and it changes game.
Are they going to sack Freddie? They're not. Some people. Wes is the CEO of the company. He's not going anywhere.
Like teabag you, or they want to do whatever they. You guys know, like none of this is foreign. The things I'm saying. To you.
Low bro wants to run through some people. He said.
Like there's obviously we have Discords and we're all on social, and if any of those want to give that information up, like obviously they can tell you, and they can hook up, they can play, but if you want to play with us as a community,
that's just a weird question. Like
where we all jump in together.
Creepers, I tell you.
Y'all can kill me.
We plan to bring back Beyond and Tales from the Stream once we get to.
I agree, good fella.
Where, there's time to set up and get going on these things too.
How did Saber Interactive come up with a way to bypass the separate? I don't know. Mystery.
Matt shot you on Xbox. And
you just dox yourself.
Yeah, I would be in the lobby, and straight up somebody in the text chat would be like, "Oh, the Connie is a dev," and then it was like, "Oh, the Leatherface player would be like, oh, right on, all right," and immediately the match would start, and it felt like Leatherface was on a magnet to my ass.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that anymore. So yeah. I might be playing under.
This is really long way. Can we just say guess? What's happened? So far, a bunch of soons.
I don't have a Smurf account.
No crossplay is ever coming for PS4 and Xbox One.
Game like Virtual Cabin from F13.
Yes, it's in the works.
That's a
It's been in
soon.
the works for a while. It's not done yet. I don't know when it's going to be.
That's
done,
probably
but
more of a stay
as soon
tuned.
as
Probably.
we do know, we'll let you know. I've had a lot of questions about that because I know
No
a lot of people enjoyed the
roadmaps.
Virtual Cabin. We enjoyed making it. We enjoyed all the deep cuts and the lore, because we know there's horror nerds.
Single
like us
player
out there that
mode.
want that kind of thing.
That's I put in stay tuned. It's the
And
third
we're
stay
working with
tuned.
The same team that built the Virtual Cabin to build.
Virtual Cabin, single player mode, like
Arnold
F13.
Museum mode. So you can take that and probably start to get a picture of what that might be.
Very cool. That's what it's going to be. Very cool. Next question is, will you reduce the prices of new characters? Man, right from like a fun one to a...
No,
Will you
we
reduce
are
the
not planning
prices
to.
of new characters. I got to talk to Andy about how he structured this list. Will you reduce the prices of new characters given some of the negative feedback? Do you agree with some players' sentiment that the new characters are pay to win? I'll probably hop right into this one. Here's the thing about the negative feedback. Yeah, we understand where you're coming from, and honestly, when it comes to pricing, to an extent, you're always going to hit some friction with when you release those things. We knew that when we put the pricing list out, there was going to be people who were like, oh, that's a little less than I expected. There's going to be people who were like, that's more than I expected. And then somewhere in the middle was where it was going to lay out. But when it comes to making those decisions, we have to look at what we put into those characters. This is a creative process.
No.
Anytime, any creative process, you have to assign what you think the value of that creative output is. And we did so... not lightly. We basically
give me that money
and just go. Let's see if we can get away with that. We assigned a price to these things that we felt was worth it for the creative work that went into them, the mocap, the VO, the design, all the lore, all the character backstory, all the things.
Ooh, Bot Lobby's 2028. Let's go.
All the things that go into making a character. Okay, well, what does that all cost, and what amount do?
Baby,
we feel
I
is
want the
fair to ask
money.
for that?
Don't you
And those are the
worry.
numbers we landed
Say
on.
hey.
Now. That being said, we appreciate the feedback on it. We hear you loud and clear. There's obviously the future is full of things like sales and bundles and whatever.
And earnable content.
Yeah, exactly, and earnable content down the line. But what it really comes down to is, as far as
Nah,
straight
boo.
up, flat out saying we're changing the price, I I feel that we put a lot of thought into those prices, and we did our due diligence on them, and those are the prices.
Yeah.
We feel that's what those creative outputs are worth. Whether or not you'll see a bundle or a sale or
exactly, Caden.
Sure. But that's what we feel those are worth. And as far as do you agree with some player sentiment that the new characters are pay to win? I would caution anybody who's buying a piece of DLC because they think it gives them a competitive advantage. I would caution them against that. And I know that's sometimes tough to hear, but that's because we don't put them out and try to attract buyers for those pieces of content by making them stronger. So if anything. Right. If it's outside of what we feel the vision for that character or piece of content or whatever it is, if it's outside of those parameters, we're going to change that. We're going to patch the game.
Oh, we've already got that one. That was already on the board, Orion. He just backtracked to it. So
Texas is not balanced as in two scales.
It was the first stay tuned.
Feel the game should play. How strong the family should be, how strong the victim should be. So we release a piece of outlier content, and we are going to be looking to bring those back to
flat out saying we're lying, you guys. Yeah. What's with the Amazon ad? Oh, I don't know. That's just fucking Twitch.
I wouldn't make that be the only reason.
We appreciate the feedback, and we also want to tell you to pound sand. That's what they're saying, good fellow. Do we think they're pay to win? Probably, but buy them.
Will the game get more mechanics added? I see what they're doing there. There are a ton of cool mocap animations in your BTS video, from Grandpa Execution to Cook Scolding animation. Why were things cut in 2021 motion capture?
Yeah, so in video games, a lot of stuff gets cut. You have dreams, and you have even the time and the money that you put into things that you want in the game, and then as the deadline is approaching, you got to start cutting things. Every game in the world goes through this. It's a very painful.
Yeah, it's called Demon Executions in Evil Dead the game.
Invested an enormous amount of time and creativity and money into this thing that you wanted, and then there's not enough time to put it in there. And if you continuing to delay a launch to get those pieces in also isn't usually not a smart play. Unless something's just woefully broken, and then obviously a delay is smart. But when you're just missing things that you wanted, that they don't necessarily change the game or fix a thing that's broken, you don't hold up progress for that. So yeah, if you've seen in the BTS, the behind the scenes videos, that there is motion capture where there are things occurring in the motion capture that you do not see in the game, it's because those things were
I agree, Caden.
cut. Does that mean you'll never see them again? Not exactly. You may see them in some fashion. It's not something we want to completely abandon and just throw in the garbage. But there's a difference between capturing the data, which is what you're doing at mocap, and then connecting that data into the game, into the rig, etc.
Stay tuned, number 4.
A whole lot of work that would need to happen to bring those things to life. So I guess it's maybe is kind of the loose answer I give you, which I know you guys probably would rather have a yes or no, but yeah, maybe.
And here's the thing: that all that stuff is cool to see.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love the idea of. I love that we can keep that in that video and show people, hey, look, this is part of that process.
Welcome back.
In my mind,
stay tuned. Point 4.
This is everything that happens, and that does happen. You shoot a lot of things that you get back, and you go, that's not really going to work, or that's not going to make the cut, or
sure. Just like films have deleted scenes, and when you rent, when you buy the Blu-ray, you get to watch all the stuff that didn't make the cutting floor. I mean, games. That's games. Every game gets that stuff, and sometimes they can work it back in, and sometimes
experiencing the real Texas Chainsaw is less painful than playing TCM.
Transformed over the years that it's been out, that it's no longer.
I love how Wes just has his bowling trophies behind him.
It just doesn't vibe with what the game is at that point, because you're building a game and you have a singular vision, and you launch the game, and some parts of that vision change because you touched it, because players played it, and because
you touched it.
Change a little. You still keep the clear vision of what it is, but there's parts of it that become.
They're not defending the prices. They're all in. They're like, we know what it's worth. Buy that, biatches.
Get that thing and say, and this little Lego piece just fits in perfectly now. No, it doesn't anymore. But yeah. Next question.
Will we ever get skill-based matchmaking?
No. That's a short answer.
Skill-based matchmaking, hard no.
Matchmaking is usually something you find in competitive-based games. Gun does not make competitive games. Gun makes cinematic horror experiences. We try to immerse you in the world of a film to make it feel like you were in a film. I've said it 6 ways to Sunday.
He's making you so angry.
When
Okay.
you're with your friends and you finish watching a horror movie, the credits roll, you look at each other and you say, what would you have done? We make games that answer that. And that's the whole point of it. It's fun with your friends. Get to put your money where your mouth is. Would you have ran? Would you have fought? What would you have done? We try to build games with tools and mechanics and systems that allow you to answer that. What we don't do is make a game.
Star, what's going on? Are y'all fixed disconnected issues? Also, when's the new map and killer being released? Well, that is a big question. We hope we get some sort of answer on tonight.
Does that mean forever, never in the future? We're never going to have that. If the game is getting long in the tooth, and we're starting to see a bifurcated audience, and there's a need for that, it's a thing we would discuss and look at. But right now,
just came here and he already seems upset. Wes has been chafed up the whole stream.
Yeah, we are, and I think you're going to see some potentially in the next 60 days, give or take.
60 days.
End of year, it may spill into the first, but it's right in that window.
There's a soon.
You're going to get that.
And next, this is a good one, just because they left a statement at the end of it. When can we finally expect more news about the newest killer map and Survivor? Love you guys. We love you too.
This is the big one. They have to answer this.
You mind if I tackle this one?
Please knock it out.
Newest killer map and Survivor. I don't know, killers and survivors. I think we're talking about family and victims, but
yeah.
You know
so
what they
newest family.
You
and
know what
victim
they
member
mean,
and
Matt.
map. We're going to be talking about those more over the course of the next 2 weeks. And I get to share some good news for once, and you'll be seeing them and playing as them by the end of the month.
Ooh.
Okay, so they're coming by the end of the month.
Let's go.
So my guess is we're going to see that drop on the exact same day as Chucky. No.
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 Did you guys consider
Why?
lowering the original movie when trying to create these characters and their story?
I'll lead off, but I want you to fill in because
What is coming the next 60
we actually
days?
had a lot more
Killer,
content on
or
this
sorry,
one.
family
You guys know
outfits.
the name Kim Hinkle. He's the rights holder, also the writer of the first film, and sort of acted as co-director next to Toby Hooper. Obviously, Toby's not with us anymore.
Making
so,
game immersed in a movie instead of
Toby
acting like a
very
video
much.
game. Told you, weird
Hopefully we can
mindset.
still work
It is
with
weird.
Kim on all facets of the game, and that includes
60
creating new
days.
characters.
We should either by the end of December or beginning of January, we should be getting a new group of individualized killer outfits.
Detail and bios and backgrounds and where are they from and what's their freaking star sign. It's like it's
Black Nancy,
pretty
Danny,
wild how
and the house
detailed
map will
that
drop at the end of the
But
month.
you got some a bit of firsthand knowledge of hanging out directly with Kim during this process.
Yeah, it was one of the photogrammetry trips that we took to Texas, and we went and had a barbecue with the original screenwriter of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which blew my mind at the time. But yeah, Kim has
I don't know, Spooter.
characters, and,
Spada.
some of which are the characters that you guys all know from the 1970s.
They're coming out the same day. It's
Some
clear.
of them are characters that
28th.
didn't really make it
Boom.
into that or any of the subsequent films.
Maybe the 29th. It might come out a day later, but it's coming out the same week.
A Massacre documentary, Ronnie talks about having these snippets of characters that I guess Kim had been starting to put together but never really fully fleshed out once they weren't going to be part of one of those other projects. And so that
We're going to
was where
find
those
out
nuggets
more
came from.
information
And then
soon
seeing
in the next 2
Ronnie
weeks.
and Rob and Kim just kind
But
of
the 28th or
attack those
29th is
little
the
nuggets
date.
and stretch them out into what
Should I
they
give that
become.
as soon?
That's the
Soon
really,
for news,
interesting
but
part to it. Johnny and Sissy are both some of the coolest additions to anything Texas
agree.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just a direct result of number one, like you said, having Kim involved.
everyone will be
Being
playing
able to
Chucky.
have
Yeah.
Kim in that original Bible of characters involved, and then
You need
Ronnie and
$15
Rob
for
to
TIFF. You're not
show what
wrong.
They do with those characters.
How are you doing, Caleb?
Wild.
And I also would give a bit of I give a lot of accolade actually to the whole group that represents the Texas license to give us the creative freedom to do that. Granted, we were working, with Kim through that, but there were still a lot of strides and a lot of things that were done that solely came out of the the creative brains here at Gun, and then passed over to Kim and the team, and they're like, oh, that's a great idea. So that was very validating for the whole team that we're at the right spot. We're all sitting at the table equally here, making something that's truly unforgettable.
Yokai
Pretty cool.
Smash.
And it was also a cool side note to see some of you people dress up as those characters for Halloween. I had a lot of people tag me on Twitter and Instagram. We were at Scarefest, which is a local horror convention here in Lexington.
What was your question, Star?
Johnny. It's cool that this,
Could you repeat it for me? I'm sorry.
Conversation and, literally people scribbling on paper and going back and forth with Kim and trying to land on this. And now suddenly it's like, it's tangible. There's a person walking around as that. It's pretty rad.
Every time I see a cosplay of one of our victims who are all original or Johnny or Sissy, don't get me wrong, I love Hitchhiker, Cook, Leatherface cosplay. I think it's cool. Seeing Johnny and Sissy is just so weird. Seeing them as cosplay
because it's definitively like that's the game.
That is that canon. That it's part of the Texas canon, but straight from the game. And seeing it, like you said, in the real world, blows my mind. So shout out to everybody putting together great. Oh, and check out our cosplay guide. We have a whole cosplay guide. You can be Johnny or Sissy or
a very in depth. Thanks to Tanner.
Yeah.
Spent many months creating this full guide to show you like exact clothing, the fabric. It's got close-ups of the swatches, like the whole works. And where can they find this cosplay guide, Matt?
On the community hub.
Hey.
www.txchainsawgame.com/hub. We'll take you there. And check it out. It's pretty
great. Fucking Scott.
Questions, because we still got
a
whole buttload. Are there any plans to bring Leatherface's mallet sledgehammer into the game? Any chances more environmental executions like Leatherface's gallows?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we did have some early discussions, and I think there may even be some brief mocap of Leatherface using a mallet. The difficult part was we didn't like that, like Leatherface exchanging weapons and things. It would be odd. Like, what would he do with a chainsaw? Like, he's not going to.
What the fuck?
Ash from Evil Dead or something. Like, it didn't match. If he set it down and then pulled out a mallet, it's like, then how do you get the chainsaw back?
Welcome back. Hey, Mia, how you doing?
And players would, in some instances, would like, oh, where'd I lay the chainsaw? Or something weird happens where there's a high ping and the chainsaw.
How about self-promotion or ad counter?
Weird stuff happen in games. So that felt like we were just asking for some troubles like that to happen. Now, does that mean you're never going to see that? You might see something in the future that is affiliated.
He did,
with that
Pixels.
Weapon,
he did.
More on that in the future. The second part of that question
that's
is
a stay tuned.
I think sort of contextual kills or executions.
Yeah, environmentals and
correct,
things like that.
Because obviously Leatherface can take someone to the gallows. We've got plans for some other things. We don't have all those all totally ironed out yet. It is on our wish list, and that's what's good about moving out of hotfix and into a normal patch cadence is we finally get to go, take a breath and go, all right, wish list time. The stuff that didn't make it, the stuff we always wanted to do. The stuff
do these guys not know how Bubba plays a DVD?
We had to stop because of whatever reasons.
That's going to be two stay tuned.
Those things. So,
Bubba Hammer, stay tuned.
That in the future,
more execution, stay tuned.
To win, but we are getting back to the mocap studio pretty soon.
Yo.
Let's
see here. We these are kind of related, so we're going to condense a couple questions. Was it planned for other family members to have their own environmental similar to the gallows, and will there be an option in the future to select multiple executions?
Pixels. I've asked this question since the game came out.
Yeah, I mean I know that the conversation we've been having were more universal, contextual. So like anyone could potentially use, as long as it wasn't something that you needed to carry someone to, because it doesn't make sense that maybe some of us smaller family members can't necessarily carry someone. But so we're discussing like those pieces. So more info on that whenever we get something that's more concrete of what we want it to be.
Use a mallet, climb a freaking ladder.
Are amazing and would be super cool to have in the game. We don't.
It ain't happening.
For it. But I know really early on it was a discussion that I think Ronnie and Rob may have had. I was pulled in on some of those meetings. We're talking about like how to pull that off, and then there's also a mountain of bugs that can come from it. But either way, it would be cool. Right now, it's not on the docket, but it's not because we don't think it's not. Like
so tag team executions are out.
There's some other things we want to get done first. Did that answer all those?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Are you considering a character selection queue? Oh, I'm sorry. Before we move on, there was one part of that question that we didn't get, which is multiple executions equipped to the same character.
Yeah. I do think that's a thing we've been discussing internally, but we need more of them, which is also why we're booking some time in mocap. There's a lot of things we know we want on our wish list.
It does feel bad. Meanwhile, Sissy's knife floats on her back, feeding Grandpa. That's 100% realistic. Don't ruin my immersion, Pixels.
Throwing out dates of when you can expect that because it's still pretty early for us, and and we've got some things already that we're planning sooner rather than later. So
It's better.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen a better dev stream than the Avengers dev stream, and that's not hard to
One thing I will say
surpass.
is more executions is always a good thing, but it's important to
Now
note
he's
that,
worried about bugs. Of course, we don't want to bring more of those to the game.
There's mocap. There's then get the mocap in.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Caden.
Even when you leave the mocap volume, it's not like, well, now that we recorded that, plug it in.
You're a third of the way done at that point. Yeah.
So
Can't stop Matthew Cote.
That being said, it falls under the category of
Working
like you said,
as intended.
want, obviously. Keep talking to us about those wants, and we'll keep trying to make sure that we tackle as many as we can.
For sure.
Are you considering a character selection queue before loading into a lobby so we have a better chance of playing the character we want to play?
Mocap is big.
Here's the thing with something like that. That splinters off that player base, and you start to create issues where match times get longer, things like that. We recognize that people want to.
I think we've done a great job.
They want to play. I mean, that's obvious human nature. I pick that person. I want to be that person. We also get that and we think that the community understands as well that our game is kind of built in a way where single pick characters have to.
We could do mocap. Good.
4 Lelands or 4 Connies or 4 Annas. What that would look like for you. So single pick characters kind of have to be a thing.
I agree with him there. 4 Connies or 4 Lelands would just be awful.
Right off of the bat, you're saying if there's a character that's maybe a bit popular, now each of them are going off into their own independent lobbies if they're all in the same kind of meeting the same kind of matchmaking.
I don't know if they'll ever add Sally Mia. Like, I have no idea how they're going to handle DLC characters other than originals.
Starting right at that moment, you've now got 5 lobbies that are all waiting to fill.
Right.
So that's the kind of split of the player base that I talk about. That being said, I think that as we, roll out more characters and do cool shit, like we have, some stuff coming up by the end of the month, you're going to start seeing less of an issue of that as people have more and more multiple, options at their disposal. So that being said, it really, we think that there's other, I would say, more elegant or more detailed ways to kind of combat those kind of pain points rather than saying, well, here, select Connie and then go sit in a lobby just as you because everyone's trying in your region or whatnot is trying to select Connie, rather than having that match time be a new pain point trying to solve some other one.
Right.
So, are there any plans for a better in-game report system to report abusive players?
The short answer is yes. It's always something that we want to strive to give you better tools to do that. Yeah.
Linus Tech Tips and Adam Levine.
I think that one of the things about
I met Adam Levine. He's very nice.
and
Imagine this game getting shut down at 9. I can see it, Mia.
Something that you're always watching for opportunities to improve.
Yeah, for sure.
There's never a moment where you're like, "Yep, that's not a problem anymore." And
the player base is very
people coming together,
ravaging itself.
If something happens, that there's something at their disposal to report it, make it known, whatnot. It's something you're always going to want to improve. Will we get more voice lines for existing characters going forward and possibly more lore drops?
Yep. Because there are plans in the future for more characters, and what makes our game, one of the things that makes our game unique are the interactions, the vocal voice lines that are unique to when 2 people come together. We are always striving again to make a cinematic experience in a multiplayer setting, and that's one of the pillars that we think helps with that. So in terms of lore, you're always going to find lore in maps, and there are new maps. There's the museum mode coming that you're going to find some in there. So you're
museum mode. Oh my God!
And obviously, checking out the hub that we have, where we put a lot of backstory on characters and stuff there. As we announce new characters, we usually get on the hub and start describing.
PS4 and Xbox One have always been in really bad shape, Caden.
And,
like they're on their own little islands. It's terrible.
Ronnie and Rob, everybody here at Gun. There's a lot of work that goes into not just creating these characters as in, okay, well, how do they play? What are their abilities?
That's gonna be the virtual cabin.
Like mentioned earlier, their star sign, their personality, their hometown, where they come from, what makes them who they are, and why that's their ability.
Yeah, we even talk about what kind of music they would listen to. Like how would they dress? Because obviously,
there was a little more in virtual cabin than that, Pixels. But I can see where you're coming from.
About one singular person,
absolutely,
until you're like sick of talking about
Yeah, and
person.
You know, that's what makes them more than just a character in a video game. They're whole people. And so we like to try to do those of you who have
he's like, this sucks. Why did we do this?
Creative things with that, and so keep an eye on the hub. Again, you know, we have a couple of things coming up, and each one of those is its own lore hit. So Does Wes mind elaborating on the process of acquiring interactive rights to licenses, likenesses, etc.? Since Gunn has the license of the first film, is there any hope for the legacy characters like Sally and Pam? Also, will the game stay in the 70s overall, or will the narrative move forward over the game's lifespan?
There's a lot of questions in one.
The Jason X teaser, I remember finding that too.
I mean, it would take a whole stream for me to get into the details of like how do you acquire licenses, because it's a lot to discuss, and I've done that in some of my own personal streams. I've mentioned on Twitter a time or two about how that works. I've gone on podcasts and talked about that. It would take too long to go through the minutia of that. But do we want? Here's what I think this person is trying to get to, and maybe some of you out there as well. Does Gunn want the other films in the franchise, or in some capacity, do they want that in this game? Short answer, yeah. But it's not like I can walk into Walmart and say, yes, I'll take one Texas Part 3, please, and I have it. It doesn't work that way. It's usually multiple people have to say yes. Multiple people have their hand out, meaning you have to pay licensing fees for all those things. And at the end of the day, you have to always figure out, when you wrap all that cost in to just acquiring it, and then you have to build it, it's like, can you make enough money to offset what it costs to do it? Sometimes the answer is no. But do we want to do it? Absolutely. Are there conversations happening right now? Absolutely. I think there was multiple questions in this, so I want to make sure I got them all.
Sonic ad.
You know, there's definitely.
I miss Sonic.
There's an angle here.
We don't have one here anymore.
Legacy characters like Sally and Pam.
Yeah. So that our game is based. It's a prequel. It's before that film took place. So it would be a bit odd to see characters from the film show up when, the game is like Groundhog Day, right? It's months before the first film took place, and you're replaying that day, and so it'd be weird for suddenly to see characters from the film all of a sudden show up in that same time. It's not impossible, but at some point, is everyone okay with like the suspension here of disbelief and just go whatever? We live in a post
DVD says it takes a full year to get a license, Spider-Man, and sometimes longer than that.
It's like whatever, just do whatever you want. People want the content. Maybe, but also I don't have the rights to use those characters' likenesses. I can use their name, so I can call anybody. Like I can just make a generic character and say that's this person or whatever. But if you want them, I wouldn't want that as a fan. I would want to look precisely like they did in the movie. So I have to track down that person, usually work with their agent, and then discuss a deal, pay the money, and then you make them. If you got to scan them, or you just making them from like portraits that they send in. It's a longer process. There's a lot to it. So,
okay.
I guess it also comes down to like how many people really want that. Do you really want that, or do you?
Yeah, I can't see why that's a problem, Pixels. Like I'm okay with Chop Top showing up. Like that's fine.
At the other films in the franchise, do we want to? How important is that?
I'm okay with the sheriff showing up.
Texas 2. How important is Chop Top? How important is?
All right, he said the thing. He said the thing.
Character, for example.
He said the thing.
Is that weird that you see her running around in this? Like, yeah, that's kind of weird too. Like the time frames are off. What's this now? So there's a lot of creative discussions that has to go into that too. And there's also the what were you guys put up with? Is that not weird to you? Or are you like, nah, man, it's cool, just do it?
Yes, I agree, Con. Absolutely.
So there's still that discussion that we're having internally and that you're having with us. And I'll say this, and I'm not trying to be flippant or something about it, but when we go to rights holders and ask them and talk to them about movies, they get on social media and look at sort of like a temperature check of what's going on there. And if people aren't asking about that thing, they're like, you sure they want to do this? Or these people seem like they're pissed off about something. Or
literally everyone's asking for TCM too. Literally everyone.
It's a much easier conversation to have when the community's saying, man, it'd be awesome to have insert character name. instead of Wes, I wish you would die if you didn't put this thing in, or what? Right? It's like it's a different tone, and Hollywood's they're different. They're not used to game culture, I guess, if that makes sense. Anyway.
Yeah, so I think that hits everything. Oh, there's one other bit of that.
Chop Top specifically named. Interesting.
Again, that's kind of answered.
Everyone's saying TCM2 pixels. Absolutely.
Are we looking at the other films? Yes, we are. And would that mean we're moving out of the 70s? Well, obviously, if you are able to obtain the rights to some other film, it would you're jumping time there. So again, we're now in the. We would be jumping into the Texas metaverse, apparently.
Right, and I think that's something that's important to note, simply because I bring that extra bit of the question up, simply because, when we talk about authenticity, we obviously want to be authentic to the characters. We want to make sure that the world's authentic. If we were to say break that and bring in characters from a different time period, okay, so those characters are from this time period. These characters are from this time period.
Yep.
So then it becomes a matter of, if we do jump into, as Wes says, the Texas verse, staying authentic to those individual properties and pieces. And I think that might be what the person was asking about. Like, if you bring in different films from different time periods, how does that jive? Do you make them into 70s people? No, we stay true to what the property is that we're
This conversation right now is telling me we have a very long conversations with TCM2.
Hitchhiker, shout out. So are there any plans to change this up and incentivize buffs or tweaks, for example, players to play Sissy and Johnny more?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of touched on this a little bit with, we're always, sort of turning the knobs and
TCM2 seems to be the one they're focused on.
Does this person need to be nerfed? Do they need to be buffed? Like, those are constant conversations, weekly stand-up meetings.
I don't know about that, Spoder. I feel like there's very good possibility they've started on that.
I mean, I don't know if it's more like holistically, everyone, every family member, every victim, where do we need to make some minor adjustments? And again, we have to do these in minor. Like, if you think of it as like a volume knob from 0 to 10, and if it's currently at a 2 and everyone says it sucks, it's terrible, we can't crank it to a 6, because the ripple effect of that is going to break other things that you might not be seeing the full picture on. So we may only go from a 2 to like a 3 or 4, and then wait and see what that feels like. It's crucial for us also to get that feedback.
I mean, Bill Moseley was at Gun. Like, they're talking about how they have to get the individual rights of that character. So that's interesting that he pointed that all out.
It needs this or it needs that. It allows us to, okay, let's go back and look at how they were playing with it. How were they using it? Did we not?
They just confirmed they were looking into it.
They're not using it the right way, or do we just? Yeah, we just need to keep turning that knob until that feels better. That'll always be a thing. It's that way in every multiplayer game.
Bill Moseley was at Gun like 2 weeks ago.
Briefly. When we talk about our measured approach, that's exactly what Wes is elaborating on. We want to make sure that we're turning those up in increments. I know sometimes that could be frustrating, because to you it seems like, we'll just slam that thing and we'll be good. That's obviously starts to get tricky. You start slamming those knobs one way or the other, next thing you know, things are kind of starting to go off the rails. We try to take a measured approach to these things, and we do so.
Well, that I agree with.
In the best interest of the community.
Drastic,
so, by all means,
one way or another, switches is bad.
Give them a chance. Try them out. Find those pain points, even if it's a little rough.
Get stretching here, and that's a cool middle of their pockets, baby.
And we can work that into that measured approach and be all the better for it.
I should play with mods. It'd probably make it more fun.
Seems like Sonny is the least used victim. Bummer, because he's my favorite. Seems like Sonny is the least used victim, so is there any possibility of balancing, buffing, or tweaking Sonny's base attributes?
Yeah, again, it's the same sort of response there. Yeah, we're always looking at making those adjustments. If he needs
I get that, Spooter. Like, basically, we know that TCM2 would not come probably until at least
tweaking things.
Yeah.
Spring,
see that patch
summer.
Make sure you give him a shot, and then let us know.
1 year anniversary.
Will Gun continue to address the rush meta, where it will be toned down in pace? TCM is built like a stealth game, but many players treat it as a mix of stealth and melee-ish. Does TCM plan to try to continue to make the game more like it was intended? If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Yes, TCM definitely is built more like a stealth game, but we've maintained that we don't want to eliminate the opportunity to play differently. There should be moments of
They're answering the question, Sage.
Moments of panic, where you panic and you got to take off and run and do things. Not being stealthy should never not be possible. Not being stealthy should be a choice you make, and you basically take on said risk, knowing that it's more dangerous in order to get yourself out of a situation. That being said, yes, stealth should be more effective. I don't think I'm making too bold of a statement for the team here. We all see that stealth should be more effective and more impactful.
It's not.
That way, stealth is slower, safer, and more effective. Speed is more dangerous, but can also be effective. Yeah. So we have some changes coming up, actually.
We do. Yeah,
I'm dead.
Start to feel some of those by the end of the month. I think you'll start to feel some that we've been adjusting those.
Ooh, character adjustments coming soon.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the big patch has some changes in it that I think people who want to play stealthy are going to really enjoy seeing. Mm-hmm. All right. Can Gun confirm how far ahead is the content they have planned out for this game? Can we expect a good amount of content moving forward?
Yeah, I kind of addressed that already. Yeah, we're looking at, I've got about 6 to 9 months kind of on the docket here of maps and characters and cosmetics and kills and whatnot. So, I'm just sort of reaffirm back again. Yeah, if you guys are still there and still playing, and people still buy things, we're gonna keep making them.
Keep buying things. Yep. Remember, keep buying things, everybody.
Next up, we got a good one.
Is he saying 6 to 9? I can rewind it.
In the works.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
Shirtless Johnny. Here's the question.
Back to my original statement, right?
Yeah.
That these folks are
horny.
It's
all right. We can say it. Yeah.
I'll say this about this is people have actually came to us a lot with this.
I did think he said 69 the first time. The first few times it sounded like it.
Pretty cool about it. Granted, horny, yes. Weird, kinda. But no one's been a jerk about it. So for that, yeah, confirmed. There's a Shirtless Johnny coming. When? You have to stay tuned.
Shirtless Johnny coming by the end of the year, everybody. There you go.
Is there any plans to reward players for staying in matches longer than... is there any plans to reward players for staying in matches longer?
Stay tuned. Shirtless Johnny coming.
There's an issue where victims DC and it crashes the lobby. Will this be fixed soon?
I mean, again, some of that you see in quality of life, the next patch that's coming, but I don't think we're really necessarily.
Yep. Stay tuned, meter going up.
To stick around.
Shirtless Johnny's coming, horny cats.
Yeah.
No, that's not a thing we're doing. But there has been some works because some people DC for whatever they rage.
I mean, you get Shirtless Johnny first, though, Kayla.
I think there were some issues earlier on with like a family member's doing a kill and someone like DC's out because they don't, for whatever reason, they rage quit. The victim does. That the family member doesn't get the XP from that. That's
don't worry, Pixels and Hotshot. I got the stay tuned. I was just updating it.
You're going to be able to combat somebody just quitting because honestly, when we designed the game, we designed it in a way that you can do that. Like if you've been killed and you don't want to sit there anymore, you can leave and go find another match, and there shouldn't be a penalty to that. And so transversely, you shouldn't be rewarded necessarily for sticking around. It doesn't really make much sense because. You may
I hope that's the case, Pixels. Like I don't wish this game any ill will.
But we don't give you. We're not going to do like
Shirtless Johnny will be the most chosen character ever.
Like, I don't think that's.
And I'm sure he'll be like totally lubed up and glistening.
Yeah, and I think that another area worth mentioning is, if you're talking about disconnecting and then maybe
exactly Pixels
or having a problem in the lobby because of it and trying to curb that. I'm just going to go out and say that I think rather than trying to like piece of candy folks into sticking around, we tackle the situation that's going on there that's causing that.
Exactly.
We throw that on our shoulders in my mind. We're pretty straightforward folks, both at Gun and Sue.
Pretty much, Spooter. They're like, we're hanging by a thread.
To fall apart if someone disconnects rather than either going after the person for disconnecting.
Stay tuned in the lead, Eddie.
Like I said, piece of candy them into staying. I'd rather see us solve what's going on there so that the lobby doesn't crash and then everybody can just do what the hell they want to do.
Right.
That's kind of been our approach.
Stay tuned, put in a big numbers.
What are your thoughts on the current balance of victims versus family? Also, with the upcoming balance changes for Slaughterhouse, will the family house map also be looked into as far as balancing goes? Specifically, the Valve exit on Family House, as it seems to be the least used exit on the Family House map.
You got some news about that.
Yeah. Well, honestly, we're always we have balance changes coming to Slaughterhouse, like you said, and we move in that Valve upstairs. When it comes to Family House, we looked at Valve Escape as something that was supposed to be not the easiest way out. There's a risk reward there. And I think this might shock a few of you to hear, but Family House is actually kind of the most true to design version of the Valve Escape because it's right there in the yard. You got to stand there in the yard and turn that valve.
Yep.
Now we've got changes coming that are going to make the valve operate a little differently. We've got an exploit on the family side that we're taking care of. We've got repressurizing on the family side that we're taking care of. Now I know that works kind of against this because you're talking about victims escaping from it, but yeah, that's how that valve is supposed to, in our minds, function. It should be one of the most risky escapes. That being said, we're making the changes. We're bringing those valves.
I'm glad they're bringing valve upstairs on Slaughterhouse. That's just ridiculous. Trying to go back downstairs every time,
which will bring them actually more in line with Family House. Yep. But we're always watching our data on our side to watch, how our escape's going. And
I agree, Myers. I agree.
Raj, shout out to Raj for pulling, and some of the folks at Sumo for pulling all kinds of cool telemetry that we could look at and see that, yes, okay, some things are going on with Slaughterhouse with, where people are getting out. Are they getting out of valve? Are they getting out here, there? We're watching the same with Family House, and honestly, if it gets to a point where it needs to be changed, it will. But we also think that the situation with the Slaughterhouse and the valve exit has kind of made a lot of victim players think, valve, 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 that's the way out. So when you get to the Family House, that adjustment has to kind of happen, and we want to let things kind of settle back into a comfortable area.
Valve is so easy on Slaughterhouse.
We're watching it. And we also have all those cool changes.
And it's badly placed. It can be even worse placed depending on the location for killers or for family members.
Find out more lore about Maria Flores.
Yeah. Yes.
I love the Maria Flores story.
You will.
So.
And there's, again, the museum mode that's coming will have some things in there, but we're always. You guys know we're nerds. Like, you don't have to ask. Like, are y'all gonna do nerd stuff? Yeah, we're nerds. Of course we are. So yeah, you can expect that.
That's a good answer. Y'all gonna do nerd stuff? Yeah, we're gonna nerd. Will the game ever add language translations like Portuguese, Chinese, and Russian?
Yes, all three.
Boom! How good is that? How great is it when we can just go, yeah, we're doing all three? They will not be in this patch by the end of the month, but they are.
But they will be soon.
They are coming. If Chop Top were to be added into the game, would it be a cameo, a skin with a new weapon, or a new family member altogether?
Good question. If I'm putting Chop Top in the game, he's a full-on family member with full abilities, just like,
I love how Chop Top's the only thing they're willing to talk about.
Cameo appearance, it would be a full fleshed out.
So if Chop Top comes to the game, he will be a buyable premium character. Let's be honest.
I live in Japan, and it's been so hard waiting for this game to come out on PS4. So are there any plans to release it?
When people think Valve is the only problem, says we have issues. Good night, Viking.
That's an ongoing battle.
I get it, Pixels. Slaughterhouse is a mess.
And they go, sure, and you're in the store.
$17 for mocaps, baby.
That's part of the culture there. And we have been through like 2 different companies.
Let's be honest. If you play
to get a
Texas Chainsaw Massacre and they tell you you're bringing out
forever. But it's a
Chop Top as a premium character for $17, people are going to buy him. They're going to buy him hardcore.
But we're working on it.
Next question is there any possibility that weather effects like rain could be added to the maps?
At this time, no, because again, it takes place at a specific day, a specific time. While it does rain in Texas, the time frames that we were looking at, and when
they did not mocap the weather, so that's not happening.
Cloudy, it's not. Those storms are rolling in. It's also a pretty big cost to do rain because there's expectations of, did the clothes get wet? Did the clothes dry when you go inside? What about footprints? Did the mud puddles, did they form, or were they already there? Do I create the footprints in the mud? What does blood do when rain hits it? Does it track footsteps in the house? Where can I follow those? There's a tack-on effect to the request that I know it's like visually, it's cool. It like gives visual variety to the game because it's raining and storming. That feels spooky, and I agree with all those things. It does. But then there's the expectations of, if you're going to.
This is a valid point that he's making.
Full asset, and that would take a lot. To pull that off, when
I can see where he's coming from, the way the game is designed.
To do would have have a big enough payoff that would offset it, but I think there's some things that we can do to the maps that can still help.
Immersion's the game, baby. Pixels. This is what this is. This is a full immersion boner.
Deal with trying to make it rain or snow or whatever other weather effect. I even heard someone say there's tornadoes in Texas, and I'm like, Are we Battlefield now?
Right.
Like, we're gonna have a tornado come through and it rips the front of the house off. Now everyone can escape.
DBD's we don't fucking care.
Yeah, right.
So you can suck dick, immersion.
Let's see here. Are there any updates for the ping too large that players in Oceania have experienced since launch?
Yeah. So that's been a thing we've seen since launch. We upped the servers in that area, have a whole fleet there. And what happens when those fill up, I think you start to connect to other regions, and that's where you're starting to see that effect happen. So we're constantly making those adjustments to that.
Does it rain a lot in Texas?
We're still feeling it today. I mean, I'll sit down with Rob, after we get out of this.
Are they really saying costs from a company with multiple games on their names? I mean, they're a small company though, Caden.
What's going on? Because I know we've already.
But they do worry about the costs. I mean, I'm sure their budgets are much more crunched than bigger content games.
Thanks for bringing it to my attention, and I'll get on that immediately and find out. Are we still seeing a problem there? Like what's going on?
There is also a greater angle or wider spread angle to this that I'd like to mention, and there's some not necessarily particular to Oceania, but there's some ping too large issues kind of more widespread in some more other pockets.
Yeah.
We've made some adjustments there with last patch or possibly patch prior, and we will be making some adjustments again by the end of this month.
Yes.
Now, as you can tell by that being 2 times that we've made adjustments to that, that's something that could be ongoing. It's really important that you guys use support.txchainsawgame.com to let us know. I'm still seeing it as frequently, not as frequently, whatever times of day that you're seeing this. Keep hitting us with that, especially, during those windows following a patch when we note that we make those adjustments.
Banner too large issue. Nicotero Leatherface. Right here.
Considered looking
like
into
right here.
Grappling mechanics, specifically that a second family member can execute victims mid-grapple. I actually have a great answer here.
Let's hear it.
We have, and it's in the Muerto Times. If you haven't seen the Muerto Times, please head to our Reddit. We have the 5th edition up now. It's the big patch, TM, trademark. There's over 250 fixes in the upcoming patch. Obviously, we can't put them all in the Times, so we put somewhere in the neighborhood of 15. But in the Muerto Times, there's a section called Under Investigation, which means those are things that aren't in the next patch, but things we're looking at. And grappling and how that entire kind of...
That whole mechanic is shit.
Works. Yeah. We're looking at that, and hopefully we'll have more news on that for you guys soon. Possibly maybe even the patch after the next patch. But yeah, we are absolutely looking at it, and we're absolutely looking at specifically the second family member in being able to execute immediately.
Right.
Could you add a steelbook?
Yeah, I was kind of going back and forth. I think that's a soon, Pixels. I agree with you.
First of all, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, first of all, to other fellow nerds out there that like that kind of stuff. Short answer, yeah, there's a steelbook. This is going to sound like a cop-out answer. I'm telling you straight up. Before the game came out, months before, we reached out to try to get them made, and the lead time was months and months and months, blowing way past the launch of the game to have it done. And I reached out way ahead of time. This was still sort of a post-pandemic weirdness of like supply chain stuff, and it was very, very difficult to get. Also, hearing that during the pandemic, people were buying a lot of movies and collector edition things. They were running out. They couldn't make steelbooks fast enough because people were home wanting to collect things, and so the company Steelbook couldn't keep up with making them fast enough, and it created this lag where I reached out long before, and they're like, "There's no way we'll hit your date." So I'm like, "Well, it wouldn't make sense for us to drop a Steelbook 4 or 5 months after the game. That's dumb." So what we're gonna do is at the 1-year anniversary, we'll drop a Steelbook, and the artwork's already done. It looks amazing. I don't want to share it yet because that's too far out for you to see it, but trust and believe it's freaking awesome.
All really right. Good. Well, they're at least looking at the anniversary already.
To get it done. Everyone here
and
they were like, oh.
The Steelbook will be coming out for the 1-year anniversary.
Cool. Will you consider adding more diverse characters?
I mean, our characters in the game are already pretty diverse, but Ronnie and Kim work together on a lot of this stuff. Rob works on this stuff too, creating new characters and things as they fit into the storyline of this. Everything is revolved around the Flores family, and staying true to that storyline and the friends that person and that family's who they've made, who they've intermingled with. That's the vision of this. We're not going to just say, "Oh, we're missing X person, so shoehorn them into the game." That's not the vision of what we have for the game. It's not because we're trying to leave people out. It's just this is the story. This is what we've created with this. So as long as it fits into that, sure, you're going to see some diversity like that. But again, we're not just going to stick someone in because
I'm okay with that answer.
Included.
Yeah, the way to do diversity correctly, in my opinion, and tell me if I'm wrong. It's not about checking a box. It's more about making sure that they fit and they make sense and they're fully fleshed out.
It's a real person that's supposed to be. Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly.
So, will future maps have different escape methods, like something different than lock, gates, fuse, and valve?
Short answer, yes.
Boom.
I agree, Orion. So new maps will have new escape options.
Have liked to include, but did not.
The table scene, the family food, setting at the table.
Yeah.
But how do you fit that into a multiplayer game? Could it have been an outro? Maybe. That's one that I would have thought would have been cool. Seeing Grandpa kill would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just some things just don't fit. Even though it makes sense.
Yeah, so they did confirm that now, though. They've teased it before, but this is the first time I think they've officially confirmed it, Pixels.
Okay.
And Wes said I was cruel for this. Maybe I am. I don't know. I think there should be a truck that comes down the road out of the family house randomly every couple of matches. You're a victim and you escape. And the Black Maria truck comes by and just wipes you out. And that's it. And you get no escape bonus, nothing.
Dude, that's brutal.
Yeah, that brutality. Yeah. So you're out there in the road dancing, and the Black Maria comes by and just takes you out. The community would
destroy us if that was
I would love that.
It would destroy us if we did that. If it was a random?
Oh, yeah, just completely at random.
You're like, I made it. And oh, no, hell no.
Yep.
Nope. I'll direct them all to you then if you put that in the game.
Right. Give him my email.
I'll just be like, that was Matt's idea.
He's mean. Would it be possible to see Nicotero versions of other family members or more collaborations with horror legends like Greg Nicotero?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you'll see another like Nicotero, his approach or his name attached to something like a new character. But we're always open to do collaborations with people that we respect and that we want to make cool things with. I mean, it's how Greg and I got together, was just sort of riffing off each other.
Savini Leatherface, come on!
Our work ethics and et cetera, and there was a lot of things in common. We just kind of hit it off. And
I agree, Caleb. And Caden. Immersion is the problem.
Together, 100%.
The fact that they want to make this like a simulator is the issue.
Family stuck spots. I'm going to actually touch on this one.
Some of that's in quality of life.
Yeah, there's a bunch in quality of life.
Is it 2 or 3 Pixels? I think it's 3.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, though, and say
I have to double check that, though.
Quality of life, there's probably a bunch more. And they're going to get reported to us, and we're going to have to get them in quality of life, too. And
I have to double check that, though.
This is a constant whack-a-mole thing.
Yep.
Now, one thing I will say is all of the modern consoles, and of course on PC, can grab screenshots. The best thing you can do if you get stuck in a spot is before you exit the match, shut the console off, whatever the case is, grab that screenshot, send it over to support.txchainsawgame.com, because that's one of those situations where we need everyone.
Yeah, there's shirtless Johnny coming. All the family members have skins coming by the end of the year.
The moles as they
I mean, it's how we.
Is it TCM too? Okay.
Is when you say, if you just verbally were like, oh, I was behind the
more premium skins are coming
next to this thing and I fell through the earth or whatever crazy thing happened. We're like, yeah, but where? Because for us to go try to find that,
they know that
spot,
people are horny.
Tied to something else. Is it just one character can do that, or can anyone fall through it? Did you have to be doing something? Was you in a state change? Were you putting a health kit on and then suddenly you fell through? So having as much of that detail work is how we then reproduce. We cannot fix a bug that's not reproducible, because it's the only way we can fix it is we reproduce it, and you see in the code where shit went sideways and you're like, oh, here we go. Otherwise, it's needle in a haystack. So it's not. I see a lot of people say when we say, hey, go to the sport and give us this thing, they're like, they have this mentality of like, I'm not doing your job for you. And you're like, no.
Stay tuned.
Our job. It's like we
that is the in-game version of Stay Tuned, Eddie.
Some of this data.
Yeah,
otherwise.
You're right, Pixels. My bad.
That's wasting time, and there's 50 other bugs in front of this that need to get fixed. And
apparently, shirtless Johnny is the most asked for horny thing on the planet. Ultimate Chain.
Screenshots of like the angle, where they were, who they were, what were they wearing, what were they. If we can knock out all those variables, it makes the bug fix way faster.
Let's see. What was the inspiration for creating this game? Well, the 1974 film. And has it lived up to your expectations? If you could, would you go back in time and change anything about the game in the early stages of development?
Oof. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's based on the 74 film. It's, I mean,
you don't have to buy it, but that's what the people want. Ultimate Chain.
Yeah, they would always want to go back in time and be like, I wish I could have. Maybe you could have fought for this one thing you wanted really badly, or I wish we could have had more money to get this thing in, or more time to do this thing.
This is the biggest waste of time ever.
Not let that. I mean, that one thing.
Yokai, you don't even play the game, so I get why it'd be absolutely pointless for you.
And then you don't, and you have to end up going, hey, we just got to cut it because there's no time left anymore. And you're like, oh, I should have fought for that. So, yeah.
You don't speak for the people, Ultimate Chain. You don't know the allure
when you talk about it because.
Oh,
Giving you the example
he just wants straight up camp counselor bikini outfits for all the ladies.
That turns into a different conversation of
we know how Ultima rolls.
That was the stuff they had to do and they didn't get it in the game. Oh, they half-assed the game, or wherever weird sort of way that people can twist words, it can become that if you start to go down that road. And it's also a bit painful for the people who went through it because it's stuff we felt and fought and wanted really bad in the game, and it still had to. Didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. You had to shelve it, you had to cut it, you had to do whatever. And it hurts, dude.
Bikini packs be the last desperate move. They realize the immense screws you over.
That road again, like memory road, and think about what you wish you could have got in there, kind of a thing. So, it's not usually a topic.
Shirtless Johnny with the bride tattoo.
For the reasons I just got into.
That's DVD style,
right?
Yeah, I feel so.
Okay.
This is a good one. What capacity are Matt and Wes on the team of the TCM game? I feel like it's pointless asking them questions since it's kind of above their pay grade.
Oh yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. As the CEO and studio head and sole founder of Gun, I can totally understand why you might think it's above my pay grade because there are multiple people above me at Gun. So I can understand why you might think that. And of course, Matt, coming from a pedigree of being at Ubisoft for many years and working on some of the biggest games in the world, and coming in and single-handedly helping to right the ship when it came to the lack of
will you be playing again? I mean, I still play off and on.
We were sort of rudderless.
Once shirtless Johnny comes out, though, I'll be balls deep, of course.
Managing that properly and. And his
they did not Ultimate Chain
to move right into working on metagame and
they just said everyone's horny
on perks and how they should work and because he saw a lot of that through a lot of the games he works from Division to.
I mean, I played during the Double XP event
at Ubisoft, so there's a lot of.
My biggest problem.
Great wealth of knowledge there that helps us.
I got mad when they removed me from the player base, but I mean, I play from time to time.
We don't know what we're talking about, or it's above our pay grade. I would argue that person. I don't know. That's a silly question to ask. When I'm sure the last thing you made was your bed. Let's keep.
I'm picking up what you're pulling down, Pixels. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Everybody who actually asked a question. So it's kind of funny to say it's pointless asking questions while asking a question. Wasting your opportunity to ask a question.
I don't even know why they put that question in there. It was such a waste of fucking time.
Will there ever be additional attributes or perks added to the game and characters? Well, I mean,
we've already covered
characters.
There's your bikini skin, attributes, Ultimate Chain. Black Nancy bikini outfit confirmed.
And the reason, if you guys don't mind me running with this, when you and Rob, I'm kind of speaking to what you do, but when you build out these characters, you say, okay, well, what are the parameters that we're going to tinker with them about a person, like toughness, stamina, things like that. And once you set those parameters, they have to maintain across the board for all the different characters so that those become now the scales that you
I know, good fella.
Weigh those characters on. You know what I'm saying?
Full care rage ability.
So as far as attributes, they're going to stay the same.
Gilfs make me feel funny.
I know we have a lot of A names, capital A names in here. So in case you're referring to abilities, those come with each new character.
Those tingly loins.
Ability unique to them. Their attributes.
There's a tingle in your loins.
And then the last bit is perks. We definitely plan to look at adding and potentially removing perks. We also know that, and if you've played the game, you know that a lot of the family have unique perks. So new family members, you don't know. They might have unique perks that are unique to their family ability. You'll have to keep an eye out for that.
And shouts out to Rob. Rob, tell the camera to yourself. Just want to say, as someone who worked on these characters and balanced them, came up with what they can, like their abilities that they can do, their speed, their pacing in between, and the fact that you're producing this show.
Yeah.
The multi-talented, I just want to say, bro, there's so many people above your pay grade. Like,
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Hey, even Diablo has bikini rogue skin. Yeah, they do. You're not wrong.
Issues with
Rob the goat.
system and
I asked them on Twitch chat.
still being looked into, and when can we expect a fix? Actually, I have
Are you in the Twitch chat? I haven't
this is
closed
actually
up,
marked
but
as needs more info. We have made some changes and fixed.
are they going to
issues
add
with
more
parties.
loadouts? I don't
But
think
can
so.
say
They
this, our
kind of
support
said
team
at this time
definitely
they weren't
needs more
looking at
info.
it.
If this is happening to you and happening to you regularly, please reach out and get in touch with our support team and start a dialogue so they can get that information that they need. I know it's been in a couple of different Muerto times where it's been, needs more info, but we're not getting that uptick that we need in order.
I don't know why, Pixels. Like, I would love, like, that would give me something more to
Have you
go
guys
for.
thought about starting a content creator program for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Is that guy in the
know,
tech
man.
room, Winston from
Yeah,
Ghostbusters?
absolutely.
Yeah, he came over from Ilphonic.
Here's the thing with these programs. I think they're great. I think they're awesome. And
You bought
I
it, good
wouldn't
fella.
do
Fair
one,
enough.
I wouldn't want
I
to do
respect
one
it.
if we couldn't give it the kind of time and attention that it needs.
Yeah.
And right now we've been hair on fire a bit. It's fair to say.
what are you trying to say?
Yeah, right. Well, those of us who have the hair to light on fire, it's been on fire. And, we've been trying to tackle things that...
Thanks, Vegeta.
And we made it clear to folks. We want to make sure that, if we're going to get content out, we're going to get it out after a series of fixes.
Yeah.
We went through our rapid patch phase. Now
We are
going
now
into a
in the
longer patch
making new stuff phase.
cycle. We want to do those things. So
Yeah. Now that we
Hot
catch our
fix
breath a little more.
days are
Right,
done,
yeah.
baby.
you wouldn't want to start a content creator program and not have all of your I's dotted and your T's crossed,
Yeah.
because that's a disservice to those creators. So that being said, yes, we absolutely want to. We think they're great, and
You
we'd
gonna
love to do
workshop some
one.
names of what you call them?
Yeah,
What about little nugs?
little nugs? Yeah,
But
oh,
Lil, L-I-L, like
Yeah,
Lil
yeah.
nugs. Yeah.
or like
Oh, God.
Yeah, there's
Pixels is a little nug.
Maybe something there with farms. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I'm not putting anything out off of the top of my head because it might get silly in here. But
yeah.
now
We'll workshop it. We'll get there.
yeah, we'll need to put the rock back in the tumbler. But we do have a couple of Twitch live questions that we wanted to get to. We are definitely hurting for time since we're 40.
Yeah, we're over.
We're 42 minutes past the minute in this, but we're gonna hang out because we don't want anybody here thinking.
You know, no one's choosing me as a little nug.
So we're gonna hit a couple of these questions that had come through chat previously.
I do want to point out I've killed just about this.
Enjoy, good fella. The OG season is upon you.
Bathroom break.
Sitting here. So
Yeah.
can we buy Nugget, please? And will you please pet Nugget for us? Nuggets are not for sale. First off, we're gonna get my butt in here. The Nuggets are not for sale. As a matter of fact, Wes, I'll let you explain how Nugget came to be.
Well, this was a joint venture with Microsoft. So when we were throwing our party, When we were throwing our party, we reached out to Microsoft and we're trying.
I
to
hope
find
they do
some
too.
ways
I'd love to hear the answer to that, Pixels.
Give something to someone when they leave the party. And we sent them over a bunch of assets of things that are in the game, and we jokingly were like, "Oh yeah, and there's a chicken in a cage," and they were like, "We love it. We're gonna make that." And we're like, "Really?" And so they not only made the nugget you see here, but they also had an animatronic.
Don't be. I played VHS. I'd have to look at how many hours, but I think it was like close to 600.
So that's where that came from, and we had a bunch left over from the party because they sent us far more than what the total attendees that we told them. They just made more, so we had a bunch of them left over. So we've been sending them out to a few friends here and there, some streamers and whatnot. But most of it all just kind of stayed here internally. I know that we've got some cons in the future we'll be going to. We've sent some to some of the talent that's associated with the game. We sent them several they could give out, that type of thing. But trying to find someone who can make that same one at a cost that doesn't make you want to pass out, I couldn't figure out how to do. Because I went back to the original people who made that, and they're like, they're expensive, man. And I'm like, what are we talking here? And they're like, hard costs, like nearly 50 each. And I'm like, so how much am I'm not going to sell a chicken for, $60 or $70 just to have a healthy profit margin on the product, because I have to pay for it to even be sitting in the store. So it's like, at what point is this feel like I'm ripping people off by selling
Nugget
them
infeasible.
$70 chicken?
Why are there
That's
so
ridiculous.
few family actions?
So I kept
Other than Johnny and Cook,
trying to get them to find a way
old
to
D-pad
reduce
is
the cost.
labeled
Of course,
and
we
controls
go smaller,
unused.
I guess, which might help.
It's a good question, PT.
It's a different world.
It's cheaper to buy, much cheaper to buy real chickens. My mother owns tons of them, and they definitely do not cost $70 a pop.
Expensive. You see it at the grocery store. It's the same thing when we're trying to get full merch and stuff. And everything costs way too much. And I don't feel right sticking that in a store and charging you $70
I respect that, Wes.
chicken,
Yeah.
but
No one
it's
should be
not
buying
a
$70 chickens.
Completely no. We're still trying to figure out a way that we can get costs down to get it to where we can if the people want them. But for right now, we have what we have, and they're promotional only.
Yeah, and I will say this though, which Wes kind of hit, but I want to reiterate: if you see that gun is going to be at any kind of convention or show in your area, stop by, because we pretty much always bring a couple nuggets.
We do.
We'll raffle them off or give them
posters.
away, and posters and all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, also keep an eye on social. I don't know, maybe we'll do a nugget giveaway. Community team and myself, we put together a couple of those nugget giveaways already. I want to say like Threads and Instagram. Maybe we'll run another one soon. We do still have some from the original skid. Will you ever have emotes?
That's a tough one. I mean, there's some discussion about emotes that can help with gameplay, but not like dancing and stuff.
No fun allowed. No fun allowed.
Like, Chad Speedo from Friday the 13th doing a dance over Jason. Like you're not gonna see that in Texas. It doesn't match the theme.
Boo! You've already lost me. I'm not coming back, Kayla.
Some ways that can you use emotes in case you're not using a microphone, for example. So there's some discussions around that, but I'm not going to make any promises yet because again, right now it's literal discussions is where we're at.
Will the game ever have proximity chat?
No, no. We had it in Friday and it fit for that, but it wasn't something we wanted to do. No, we thought we needed to do for this game. We like the sort of team feel of who can hear who.
Groovy's a huge show. He's like, I love Texas. Texas is the greatest game ever. I'm the Chris with the K of Texas.
Behavior with Jason being able to talk to and so on and so forth. Like but again, the tone of that game, it sort of fits where Texas is a bit more serious, a bit more brutal. It just doesn't quite fit the tone of it.
Yeah, there's also
notice me, Wes.
Which I know there's hurdles to get around. You could get around these things, but a game based on stealth, and then you're betrayed by stealth. Your buddy walks in the room and goes, "Where are you playing?"
Wes, my uncle.
And they're like, "Oh, well, he's over there." Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Anyhow, will you make how are you preparing for additional lobby dodging once new characters are released? If you don't mind, I can jump into this one.
This is a huge one.
Any game with single pick characters is going to deal with that. To an extent, you're going to have folks who they want to play that character.
Pixels. I remember when he did that.
The lobby. I think that there's a lot of things that we've discussed internally of like creative solutions to how we might be able to handle something like that, but none of those are quite out of the seed moment yet in order to share here. In terms of when the new characters are released, this is something
I agree, Caden, but it was fun as shit.
Right? We're not going to try and accelerate some kind of a change because of a perceived issue that when they drop with lobby dodging. So I'd much rather, and the team would much rather
Kayla.
tackle this in
no.
measured and kind of calculated way.
No.
Those conversations are starting, but by the same note, we don't have anything to share on that at this time. Honestly, single pick games, you're going to have issues when you run out new characters. That's a thing that's going to happen. The most I can say is I think it's a good opportunity for folks to make sure that they're going back through their catalog.
I just threw up in my mouth, Pixels.
One of those new characters, cool. If you don't, I'm sure there's new characters you're still working on to
one question I have not heard and would love to know about is the plan to hide the map info from lobby.
Well, let's go. Will you make a mobile port or Steam Deck? Mobile port, no. Steam Deck, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Are you looking at
all right, so it's coming to Steam Deck.
Blocking the doorway of the fuse exit. I mean, that is kind of a strategy, I have to say. If you're a big guy and somebody's trying to run out a door, you might stand in front of a door. That being said, we're monitoring as we always do. How are the improvements to your anti-cheat tools going? Again, whack-a-mole. That's similar to stuck spots in the respect that.
Yep.
That's work that's never done. It's something that we're going to have to continue working on. As far as the pause,
was that a stay tuned? Which one?
That was more
Jack?
to bring us to a point where we would be in a better position to do that ongoing work. So that's why that was necessary. That's why PC's back in the crossplay pool now, and that's why we're going to continue in a maintenance mode to make sure that we're keeping up with those anti-cheat tools. Is there anything going to be done with the volume of Nick Terra Leatherface? Because it sounds lowered compared to default Leatherface.
It was already, it was boosted. I thought we just boosted it in the most recent.
I
thought
told
so
you,
as well,
Kayla.
and if we
Everyone
didn't,
said I was.
know we have something coming for that.
In quality of life, yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're
I think
boosting
it
the hell
already
out of it.
happened, and if there still need to be adjustments, I think Ross may have actually caught something that maybe goes into the next quality of life patch anyway, which happens at the end of the month.
Oh, was keep an eye
We're
out
planning to make
for
these types
Steam
of
Deck.
streams more
Yeah.
often in the future, absolutely. Beyond and Tales from the Stream will be back.
Yep.
So, and we'll be hanging out here telling you guys stories on Tales, doing patch notes on Beyond, on and on. We also can, do more Q&A in Beyond. Not always a 2-hour one, but yeah. Will there be the ability to choose to play crossplay between either only the console's PC when you want to play with? That's something to stay tuned on. A more bespoke
Literal stay
toggle
tuned.
for what type of crossplay you want.
Yes. Yep.
Something we're investigating and looking into, and hopefully we'll have an answer for you on that soon.
There we go. We nailed them. That was a lot of questions.
Yeah, it was.
A literal stay tuned to finish it up. Like,
And
not
each
even a
one of
question
those
mark of what
had
it should have
numerous
been.
Questions within it, because Andy, shout out to Andy, and Sid, shout out to Sid.
Yes.
They condensed from Reddit. Into
No
one, so they were-
conversation about Battle Pass.
Down to- yeah. Great job. Awesome.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
And thanks for taking the time to ask questions. Like,
yeah.
That's what I just said,
this- we
Pixels.
need to do
Yeah,
more
they
of
didn't
these
address
where
it.
If you guys have questions, you ask me, we answer them. If we can't answer them, we'll answer them. But there's also some things that should be left for surprise, because surprises.
DLC's coming out.
And
Yeah, Ashy. It's by the end of the month. My guess, the same day as Chucky on December 28th.
Don't know, and they just come
Never,
out, but,
ever
it's
getting a
good
Battle
for us to have this
Pass.
sort of town hall type meeting where you guys came to us with your concerns and your questions, and we're taking the time to answer them. And thanks for hanging out for this long, because like you said, we spent about 2 hours. So, so thank you for your patience, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
The torture is done. Yeah, okay.
We'll
No
talk to you soon.
roadmap are
Take
ever
care.
coming.
Keep coming at us on Reddit. Keep coming
No
at us. with questions. Anything we can do,
roadmaps.
anything they can answer. We appreciate you. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.
See ya.
And there we have it. We kind of know the answers to, well, a bunch of stuff. And other stuff they just completely ignored altogether. So what do you guys think? Another Shutterstock image? Yeah. Boom. Get it. Let's see. We'll have trash. Like here, I'm concerned about something. One of the things that at the very end that scared the most out of me is they're looking at adjusting to toggle off crossplay. Like these player lobbies are bad enough. If people are turning off PC again, like this is another thing that makes me like really scared about this game. And this is one of the things that I really disliked from the get-go. I hated when they isolated me out of regular crossplay. And if they're going to make an option where we can turn it off again, that's a really, really bad sentiment. Well, yeah, we're never getting any weather. That's just not happening, PT. But yeah, so there's some good stuff they announced. That was one thing at the very end that was a little scary for me, but it is what it is. Like, I always have concerns as a PC player with this game, and yeah, especially since last gen's not getting crossplay. Like, I don't like that as a possibility. Did they answer about more loadouts? They said they are not looking into it at this time. Yeah, I agree, Fiddleman. Like, I don't think it was terrible. I think they explained some stuff in detail of why they are making certain decisions. But yeah. So overall, I agree. No roadmaps forever is a bad play, I think. I think letting people know some sort of idea when things are coming is a better choice. PS4 players, Xbox One players are going to dwindle off and die. They're just left to their lonesome. Like, there's nothing they can do. Oh, yeah, Pixels will be rocking shirtless Johnny. We have no doubt, Nicholas. Like, that'll be his main character. Just running around, air swiping shirtless Johnny. I'll gift it to him. It's not bad, to be honest. They're doing a lot better than Saber in terms. I mean, Saber sets the bar so low for communication. It wasn't even funny. Like, it was so bad. It was legitimately terrible. How the communication was with Saber. So, yeah, there you have it. Shirtless Sonny. All right, now we're talking. Shirtless Black Nancy for Pixels is what he needs. Stay tuned is the new roadmap. Yeah. JRP, what's going on? Did they say anything about going beyond level 99? I didn't get to watch the whole stream. Yes, they did. They are going to be going beyond 99. Just they haven't announced when that'll be. L stream, but has less some good things. Wes made a yokai Hawk out. I'll say shirtless Anna and Connie from me. Sure. Oh, you just want them. I mean, that's just basically back to the bikini outfits, which I don't know if that would ruin immersion. Only 6 to 9 months for content. Yeah, there's some scary stuff. So basically, they said as long as you guys are playing and as long as you guys are buying shit, we're in it to win it. I don't know. It's a weird like give and take. Like this, it feels to me we have no roadmap. The game is hanging on a bit of a ledge, so we'll see what happens. Saber did not have a clear roadmap at all. Saber never put out a roadmap once for the game. They just told us we had a season pass. Like, that's not a roadmap. Yeah, there was no roadmap for Evil Dead the game. They just put out, they said we had a season pass that you could buy up front, and that was it. Nope, there was not. There was not one. Booty wiggle F's. So there you have it. That was the TCM dev stream, the first one since the game actually launched. That's a good question, Caden. I don't have an answer for that at this point. I guess it's going to depend on how much Shirtless Johnny sells. If Shirtless Johnny can bring it home, we'll still have content beyond 6 to 9 months. And that's the big deal. Like, that's what we know. They've cleared up some things, but they made it paramount and very clear that your expenditures of buying stuff is really important. You have a PS4 today, we're getting no money. Nicholas, I wouldn't. If I were on Xbox One or PS4, I wouldn't buy a goddamn thing for this game. It's Jover. Yeah. So is the DLC releasing? Yep, it's going to release the same. It's either coming out on the 28th or the 29th. So either the same day or the day after Chucky, which is terrible timing. Well, and I feel like there's a lot of the latter in Texas Chainsaw Ultimate Chain. Wait, Leatherface requirement is going to be gone. So how is that going to work? We don't know, Whiffy. It's been real, folks. It's Jover. Yep, that's what I said. They had issues with implementing new game modes in F13. Remember how paranoia mode? Yeah, it works great. Yeah, Prexel's time come to Breakers. I don't think either one of us, Caden, are gonna become Breaker streamer. Now, I'm gonna basically take a break. I've been streaming for, I don't know, right around 3 hours. I wanted to do this live event so we could all kind of break this all down. I wish Resistance would come back. I had fun with Resistance. Take community's money. That's TCM's name. I mean, that was the motive. Yeah, like, we want immersion and you to buy shit. I will be I'll be logging off for about an hour, and then I'll be coming back and doing a Overwatch stream if you want to come back for that around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I need to get some food though, because I've already streamed 3 hours. I'm not doing 4 or 5 of Overwatch 2. But let me know in the comments below as what you thought about it. I want to hear it. If you haven't joined the Discord, make sure you do that. We have a lot of fun over there as well. 53 minutes, correction. It's always fun. And if you look for me on all my socials, if you're new, make sure you hit that sub button. I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. And of course, as always, thanks for watching, and later, mates.